Welcome to day number 2 of the PMCO EU West Fall Split Finals. My name is Imperium with the fantastic Zute. Of course, always wearing the fantastic looking hat. And Zute, if you had to use one word to describe yesterday's set of 4 games, what would it be? One word.
Difficult. It was difficult.
There you go. There you go. Pretty much. Couldn't have said them. Couldn't have described it better myself. Indeed, yesterday's games was difficult. Will today's be tougher? Well, look, you know what? We've got 4 games. We'll be able to find it out. All these 16 teams at the end of the day, right, today, they're battling out for that all-elusive PMPL slot. It's really important that if they had a bad day yesterday, they pick it up today.
Yeah. You know, yesterday I gave all the teams that performed bad a pass just because the circles were so different than what we usually see. And you called me, I gave them a pass, and you were like, thank you, Zute, for giving them a pass. Welcome to like Zute's class or something. Like I was a professor.
Yeah, Professor Zute.
So yes, yesterday's games are basically the equivalent of the professor giving you practice questions, and you study all the practice questions, and then when it comes time to the exam, everything you studied is not on the exam. That was yesterday's games. That's how difficult it was. And if you missed yesterday's games, I think you should watch it back. You'll really see what we're talking about. But it definitely put a lot of teams in certain positions at the end of the day that we weren't expecting them to be at, and it for sure impacted the overall results. That's just how powerful the circles were yesterday.
Yeah, 110%. Let's get through the formalities first and foremost before we dive a little bit deeper. The format of the PMCO, if you're just joining us, it starts at the group stage. Let's throw up the graphic and see how these teams started and where they're looking to go.
So here you see the group stage leading to the finals. We are currently into the finals. We have the top 16 teams from the group stage of PMCOs. We're on day number 2. We got 4 matches today, 2 more days coming up, and the top team advances to the PMPL, the number 1 team from the group stage.
Yeah, I think it's important to stress that because obviously this graphic is used for multiple regions. As a bit of context, for the EU wildcard region, it is only 1 slot currently available. Big pressure for all these teams. 1 in 16 chance technically of making it to the PMPL. Let's move on to the points and how these teams are going to earn them to get to the PMPL.
The point system right here, as standard and traditional as ever. 15 points for first, 12 for second, 10 for third, and so on. 1 kill, 1 point. Every single point's going to count now if you want the number 1 spot. And for a lot of the teams, they got a lot of catching up to do. But if you don't get first place, which is what you want to go into PMPL. If you don't get first place, though, you do get something else. You get a little bit of money. And actually, not a little bit. You get quite a decent amount of money. Let's go ahead and take a look at the prize pool.
I can't help but feel that now that we're kind of ramping it up for that, singular PMPL slot, that anything past first place in terms of money is like a consolation prize for these teams. And look, that's not a bad thing because hypothetically going from 5th to 3rd, that's an extra $500 in the team's back pocket. So it will be an element of an incentive across the board. But that 4K for first place, it looks good. It sounds good, and sure as hell, it will feel good.
You know what? If you guys don't qualify, the teams competing today, it's always good to be like, well, at least we made some money, and we got to play a video game, right? So that is a good consolation prize. I remember there were a few times where at certain stages I didn't qualify to the next stage of games, and yes, it is very disappointing. It does suck, but after a couple minutes, the next thought is like, well, I made some money and I got to play a video game. So everybody wins at this point.
Sure.
Once you make it to the PMCO, you're already a winner in my eyes. But let's move on to the schedule for today. We got 4 maps coming up. Same map order as every other day. Erangel, Sanhok, Miramar, Erangel. Map order is the same, but if yesterday showed anything, Imperium, the circle order, I mean, there's no such thing as circle order, but you know what I mean.
Oh, I know what you mean. The teams would much prefer if we had like game 1 is going to have this circle order, game 2 is going to have this circle order. Never mind the map. You don't know what map you're going to play, but you know the circle order. The teams would gladly choose that 150%. And I just want to make one note about that kind of, not so to speak the map order, but at least the schedule, because Rexpect, you know, I brought up the point of them being weaker and like Miramar and Erangel and them being strongest in Sanhok, and Salazar had said to me, you'll see the best out of us in Erangel and Miramar. And it's like he proved me wrong, because their highest amount of points did come from Miramar and Erangel in yesterday's game. So I just kind of wanted to point that out. The schedule does make a difference. The map order does make a difference, especially when every point counts.
The pacing of the game counts. If your strongest map is Erangel and you start off strong, it does impact the rest of the game. Not as much as the circles, so I feel like the circles have the greatest impact overall. I mean, when you pray to the PUBG mobile gods, you don't pray for give us Sanhok or give us Erangel. You pray for give us circle.
Exactly.
So circle. Yeah. Is the end all be all when it comes to these competitions.
It really is. It really is. Well, let's throw to a bit of a quick ad from our sponsor Xiaomi, then we'll dive deeper into today's games. Welcome back. 16 teams. This is day 2. Let's throw up the graphics, Zute. Have a look at what teams that we will be maybe looking out for a little bit more heavily.
These are the 16 teams competing for today, tomorrow, and the day after that. These are the top 16 PMCO teams. And it's just coincidence, but the number 1 team on this graphic for Romanian Boys is also the number 1 team currently after day 1 was finished. But as for all the other teams on the list, that is not in any particular order.
So obviously we kind of put I can't help but feel that we're putting a lot of weight on a team like Mega Power based on how they performed in the group stage. But they came into day 1 finals only scoring 13 points in total, 6 kills. But what other teams are you maybe looking out for, whether they've had a good day yesterday or a bad day, to ramp it up in day 2?
Oh, one team I'm super interested in is the Defeaters. So Defeaters kind of cruise their way up to 3rd place overall. Just every game, they were super consistent, but they didn't shine in a way where they got the spotlight in the games. And it wasn't until like game 3 or maybe the last game that I noticed like, hey, wait a second. Defeaters is like 3rd place. So today, I want to see if they could keep up that like low-key consistency, or even better, show that they're consistent but have some shines of brightness where, they do have a huge game, they get a chicken dinner or something like that. So Defeaters, really curious to see what they got.
I'm really glad you highlighted them, to be fair. I'm in the same boat. They definitely were consistent in a way on yesterday's performances, but one thing that I'm finding with them compared to other teams is that there's less of a team consistency, right? You'll have Savage X, snake it into second place. You'll have maybe one or two players towards the end get a good result from the team. But I'm not seeing as much kind of that strong team-wide performance in as many of these games compared to the likes of FTY, Romanian Boys, TipTop, etc. So that's something that I feel they could do with evolving if they're going to secure that PMPL spot. Because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, this is a team game, and the better team wins.
100%. I gotta agree with that. And you're absolutely right about the feeders with their team composition. They don't have that identity, so to say. Yeah, like the teams surrounding them in the leaderboards, which we'll bring up very soon, they all have a specific identity to them. Either they're the frag heavy team, or they have one or two star players, or they just dominate through rotations. The feeders, like I said, they're just kind of under the radar. And
they're
same
there.
with the PMCO. Same with the PMCO group stage. You just kind of just like made their way up there. But let's throw it over to the leaderboards, and you guys will really get to have a better idea of just how far up the feeders has cruised their way up there. But yeah, I'm interested to see if they will establish a identity today for these games for the today and the coming next 2 days.
For Romanian Boys, though, you see that lead 20 points ahead of second place. A beautiful way for them to start the PMCO finals. Easily the strongest team in the lobby right now. First 3 games, they were on fire. A bit of a sad end, but at the end of the day, they can hold their heads high. And the fact that cushion between first and second compared to second and sixth is so much bigger. It means that all the teams around them are technically going to be scrambling over each other, while 4 Romanian Boys can just continue to technically cruise their way through these games, in theory.
They definitely can cruise their way through the games, but if yesterday showed anything, the first 3 games they did really well, and then on the last game, they only scored 1 point. They went from 67 to 68. Yes, they still had a big cushion after that, but we have a total of 12 more games to play. If they get a few more of those 1-pointers, before they know it, a team will get ahead of them. So sitting comfortable for now, but that's only just for now.
Only just for now. FTY in 4th isn't bad. It's not really a poor day. It's not really a super amazing day. It's just a solid day, especially for a team that we've been holding to relatively high standards. Still good stats in terms of placements and kill points, but TipTop in 6th, they won game 1. What I find surprising, especially for a team with Chinese players, is that they have a noticeable lack of kills compared to teams around them. To me, they need to start being a little bit more aggressive.
Maybe get that team synergy locked in better. It might be the late game that's where they're slacking, where they're not going for the kills to break into the zone. But let's take a look at the second page to see the teams on the second half. Now, these teams, I would have to argue and say they need a good day today if they want a chance at qualifying. Remember, only the number 1 team qualifies to the PMPL. Usually we do the cutoff day, like this is your day, you have to do well, like maybe day 3. But if it's only the first place team, you really got to pick it up right now, starting from day 2.
I'm going to caveat that by saying if 4 Romanian Boys have a bad day, then game 3 becomes a little bit more accessible. But I see where your perspective is, and even when we talked to Zute, before the broadcast, he was like a little bit harsh on that as well. So I totally get. But anyway, we're getting into game 1. It's up to every single one of these teams to indeed do what you said about having that strong day 2, picking themselves back up, dust off yesterday's games. What's in the past is in the past. You can't change it. You got to focus on the here, the now, the present, and the future. Just like you can focus on having a super fast and lag-free PUBG mobile experience on Xiaomi's powerful Redmi Note 10 5G, the wonderful sponsors of the PMCO EU wildcard. Game 1, Zute. I want a chicken dinner winner team from you. Who's your pick?
Oh, I'm not prepared for this one.
I know.
I would have to. You know what? Okay, I got it. FTY. They don't have a chicken dinner yet, but they're one of the teams that can really frag out. They proved themselves in the group stage. If I gotta pick one, I go with FTY.
That I'm not gonna lie, I was gonna pick it, but I also thought you were gonna pick this team. So I like to have a little bit of a, split desk, so to speak. I'm gonna go for Mega Power.
Okay.
At the end of the day, what they did in group stage holds a weight. Just like the plane holds a weight, it's flying over the sky. Let's bring it on board to this game number 1.
Game number 1. Erangel, we are back at it again. The plane path right now looking pretty nice. Straight down the middle, starting from the military base side of things. Of course, the Noisy Boys, they'll get out on the plane earlier than all the other teams looting Military Island. But looking at this plane path, we should see no shenanigans happen. We didn't see any happen in the first day, and the plane paths were good. Sometimes we had a bad plane path on the last game, but no team really fought in the early stages of the game across all the maps.
Yeah, I believe today will be different. The warm-up has happened. They've had day 1 to reflect. I believe that a lot of these teams are going to go in a little bit more aggressively, a little bit more all guns blazing. Seeing as I picked Mega Power for the chicken dinner in this game 1, to highlight them a little bit more extensively on why a part of why they struggled yesterday. We noted, and you've heavily highlighted, that they are a team that focus on the center of the circle, right? And the circle shifts yesterday were very difficult. You gave the teams a pass. But I would argue an element of why Mega Power struggled a little bit more yesterday compared to, let's say, the group stages is because other teams around them are starting to rotate a little bit quicker, a little bit deeper into the circle, and Mega Power are being knocked bit off their perch, and they struggle to deal with that a bit more.
Ooh, I really like that point you bring up. It's one of the things going from one stage to another that has an impact, right? So Mega Power, they finished first place in the group stage. What that does is it kind of highlights them to everyone else. We all pay a little more attention to the first place team. And I know on broadcast, I kind of gave away their strategy. I hope they don't, hate me for it or anything. But yeah, their shining thing is fast rotations and more central.
Yep.
And I think all the other teams, they took a little bit of what I said. They watched back the games, learned from the first place team, that being Mega Power. And all the other teams are just rotating that slightly quicker, but just quick enough to throw off Mega Power. And unfortunately for Mega Power, because they did get first place, there wasn't anything really big for them to adapt coming into the finals, right? Yes, they go back and watch their games. They fix up some mistakes here and there, but they didn't get a chance to maybe realize going into the finals, we have to move even quicker because there was no need to move quicker. What they were doing was fine. So that is a really cool dynamic that coming from one stage to another that might hinder a top first place team.
For sure. Every single day, every single game, gotta be able to adapt, and sometimes you're going to get it, other times you're not going to. Phase 1 circle, Zute, on that southwestern side of the map. Not too difficult comparative to the plane path. It does extend quite heavily onto Military Island, so once again, I'm curious on the rotations from Rexpect and the Noisy Boys. Interesting that compared to yesterday, we don't have that third team in Military Island. I believe it's sorry for skill. They've opted to drop onto the mainland, feel a little bit more comfortable in their current area of the map. And we'll see how these teams will start to make their way through this phase on circle.
Yeah, I imagine the Noisy Boys will just take the bridge closest to them, which is in the circle. We usually see them take that bridge when the circle's on the opposite end, but they can't really do that strategy because of Rexpect. Rexpect is going to be on that eastern bridge side. So even if the Noisy Boys are scared of a bridge camp, they know for a fact if they go to the other bridge, Rexpect is most likely going to be there. So I'm looking for a faster rotation maybe out of the Noisy Boys to adapt to this first circle. And this first circle, it looks pretty normal, looks pretty tame. I'm going to say it's a good circle for Mega Power to pick their spot that they want to get to for the first position. But we'll just have to wait and see how the rest of the circle shifts, because if anything goes to show yesterday, you can never judge the circle based on the first circle.
Yeah, of course. There's so many more variables that's going to come into play. So our position on this phase one is still relatively important. New generation, they drop around the Ferry Pier area. It's pretty deep into this phase one circle. Right now, they're on a bit of a 2-1-1 split. The phase one blue zone just started closing in, but I think they should start to recognize that teams already are going to start to rotate closer to their position, try and grab a bit of a stranglehold. Them coming into either 2-2 or even a 4-man area might be more beneficial.
Indeed. I'm looking at Mega Power right now. They have a nice little split going on. They've left one player in Pachinki still. He could potentially be looting, but that could also potentially be a split. So they're kind of split in Pachinki and then south on the Pachinki hilltops. It's a big split, but being the team that gets to pick whichever spot they want first, and the fact that it is the first circle, I don't mind it. The player is moving out of Pachinki though, so they're not going to do that wide of a split. The Noisy Boys doing their rotation around the 6 minutes mark. I would say it's not too fast, not too slow. It could hurt them, but it doesn't look like there's anybody camping the bridge right now, so it is a good timing for their rotation.
6.5 minutes into this game one. Sorry for skills still in the South George area. Daos Legion, who do like to play outside the circle a little bit more in these games compared to a lot of teams, and that's okay. I'm generally okay with a team playing Slash in the blue or on the edge of the circle for the first 3 phases, but I believe that what Daos Legion failed to do compared to a lot of strong teams who really take advantage of the edge of the circle is that they're not being aggressive enough early enough in the game. Instead of the first 3 phases being kind of in the blue, on the edge, and then realizing, okay, we're going to have teams in front of us. We need to start to make some noise and be aggressive, be a little bit quicker. Daos Legion are still staying quiet. They're still being a bit passive, and there's a higher chance they're getting caught out in phase 5, phase 4, because they're not being aggressive enough.
100% agree. One team that I studied a lot back when I was competing was 4 Angry Men. They were the 2nd place team in PMGC last year. They actually dropped North Georgetown exactly where Daos Legion drops. They are a heavily edge-focused team. Now, the difference between Daos Legion and 4AM, I mean, there's a lot, but fundamentally, Daos Legion... They edge on the circle up until like circle 6 to circle 7, and they keep edging to just find a spot that is open. Now, 4 Angry Men, on the other hand, they edge the first 3 circles, and by circle 4, when that like kind of last big hard shift happens, and they have a really good idea of, okay, this is where the game's going to end around, by circle 4, they look to pick an area on the map on the edge that they really want, that's strong, and they will take a fight there. And then after they win that fight, because they're such a strong team, they are so good at edge fighting, they have a good way into the rest of the circles of circle 5, 6, and 7, because the circle's already so small, even if a hard shift's away, they have a plan.
Exactly.
Daos Legion, they just keep edging and edging until they are forced to fight somewhere, and that position that they're fighting for eventually might not even be a strong position to help win them the game. So that is the main fundamental difference between a strong edging team and the way Daos Legion is edging.
Phase 2 shifts up in the northeast, so it's comfortably more prioritized onto the mainland, opens the door for a Pachinki finish. Oh boy, that would be a juicy way to have day one of the day, game one of the day, I'll tell you that much. Before Romanian Boys reacting very quickly, Mega Power in an individual split could get caught off guard for it.
Ooh, 4 Romanian Boys just heading straight in. I love this aggression out of 4 Romanian Boys, or at least the decisiveness, right? It is only Circle 2, but they recognize in Circle 2, a lot of teams might be split, and they did find a Mega Power playing split. Now, he did get the opening knock. He is probably going to smoke out his car and leave this compound area. He was not able to push them away. There's a chance the rest of Mega Power can condense on this and take the fight, but they are center circle. They're going to end up giving up their position elsewhere if they decide to continue this fight.
To me, I think continuing this fight might not be a bad idea, but that's easier said than done, because again, we got to consider the fact that Mega Power, they're not looking good in the standing, so they can't afford to maybe take too many risks. That was a lovely nade from Wix onto the Mega Power player, and yeah, indeed, that was a little bit too slow.
Fellow guy got the opening knock on his defense, which is great. So when you get that opening knock, that means your team comes in from the different angles. Move away straight away, or the rest of your team immediately comes in at multiple different angles. 4 Romanian Boys are condensed in one spot. Set up those angles quickly, press the 4v3 advantage, or like you said, instantly get in your car, drop a smoke on your car, and leave. He was too slow, or the team itself was too slow to do either option, and they lose a player there. But otherwise, that split is perfectly fine. It was just a follow-up execution that failed.
Very true. All Rejection Gaming committing to Pachinki on phase 2? I know I teased it, but come on, that's putting all your eggs in one basket. A bit too early in the game in my eyes.
It is the north edge of Pachinki. It's easy to hold that spot without being trapped in, so they can still rotate out of Pachinki. It's not too bad. I get what you mean, though. Pachinki this early on is a little bit too early. Sorry for skill on the screen right there, picking up a straggler from XTEAM. The rest of XTEAM, nowhere close to that player. Don't know how they got separated, but that is 1 kill point for Sorry for skill.
Yeah, I would argue maybe just city rotating from XTEAM. Not properly coordinated, not properly worked, whether it's those comms not shining through. They still have 3 players up, so it's not the worst thing in the world. Just means they're going to have to adjust their playstyle accordingly. Luckily, they're kind of more on that northeastern side of the phase 2 circle, so there's technically less traffic around them. That's why that deeper rotation meant that they technically lost a player. The feeders are in those headshot hills to the west of them. You still have Daos Legion now coming in through the edge of the circle. Last fight close by, coming in through Gatka. This phase 3, his centers up. I'm not going to overhype it, but indeed, we're closer to a Pachinki finish.
That is as close as a Pachinki finish we've seen thus far. A Pachinki smack in the middle. I would argue S4 has the best position. They have control over Pachinki, but they also have control outside of Pachinki if it doesn't go that way. Mega Power, they got 2 big hills they got to cover. I don't know if they could do it as a 3-man. And ENTROPIQ in a 4v4 with TipTop now.
Sam said to me their aim is top 5 today, but it also highlighted that TipTop need more kills in the finals games. So definitely a lot to lose from both sides. I would argue ENTROPIQ has more to lose. And they lose Sans, gets knocked. George is going to go down as well. Sound and just Starkey left alive, and Nade on the outside to try and slow them down. But the onslaught is near, and that's TipTop racking up the advantage, doing what they can. The momentum is flying high. A nice molly from Sound again to slow them down. On the outskirts, Stupid Pig comes in on the side. Now Cold and CPBD on the other side. They know they have it done, and that's ENTROPIQ taken out. A good execution by TipTop.
Clean super clean. Not a single player of Tip Top got knocked, and the team was split on that defense. The rest of the team came in to help quickly. And the most important thing, no one got knocked, so none of these teams could really third party. QILIN probably would have third partied if multiple players of Tip Top went down, but that is not the case. Well done to Tip Top. ENTROPIQ, unfortunately, back to the lobby.
Oh, new generation. Lose a player stolen away by all rejection, knocked down at the hands of the Noisy Boys. And even the timing of that engagement, I really want to highlight the importance of the timing so early into phase 3. You mentioned it with the third party. Any later into that circle, QILIN probably would have slowed Tip Top down. So well executed by them. Sorry for Skill, still on a 2-2 split. As you get halfway through this phase, the Noisy Boys committing to that eastern edge of Pachinki, new generation. We saw them lose a player. They're on the south side, and all rejection stuck in between the Noisy Boys, and sorry for Skill.
Sorry for Skill doing a really big 2-2. I don't know if they're going to continue holding that in the next shift, but I like that split. They're split between the Pachinki Church and then the warehouses west of Pachinki. So they have a foothold in the city, and they also have a foothold out of the city. The circle is about to shift, though. Let's see if it favors them, if it goes one way or the other. Everybody else is pretty much set up in their own spots on the map. The circle, though, that's the next thing we got to look at. Where will it go? And Imperium, you wanted a Pachinki finish. That's looking like a Pachinki right there.
Oh, baby, let's go. Oh, let's go. Okay, again, it's a pretty big shift, so I'm trying not to get my hopes up. You have no idea. I'm suppressing myself right now, but I'm smiling from ear to ear at the thought of a Pachinki finish end circle in this game 1 of the day. 4 Romanian boys, they stuck to the edge of the circle on the previous phase, recognizing that they didn't want to commit too heavily. They were slowed down by Mega Power. There's no point. They're going to have a bit of a tough job because Mega Power do still have 3 players up on that Pachinki hillside. FTY in a good spot as well as defeaters. They're just going in deep.
They're using one of the dips right outside of Pachinki. Pachinki's going to be clustered with teams. You got to remember, it's not just the buildings, but the trenches outside of Pachinki that gives footholds to so many teams, and defeaters taking advantage of one of those footholds. They do end up losing one player, though, getting grenaded. They should be able to survive and rat it out here, but their vehicles are also safe, too. So if the circle shifts away, they could move defeaters. The team I wanted to really take an eye at, well, they're down one player. They're still kind of just laying low. Maybe they'll cruise their way and lay low up to a top 3 finish again.
La Familia getting a knock into one of the Daos Legion players. It's a good start in this fight outside of the circle, I might add. A couple of teams around our 4 Romanian boys, Daos Legion, La Familia, and then on the edge in the south western side of the circle, 4 Romanian boys, and Mega Power and for Skill. Seems like 4 Romanian boys are going to focus on Mega Power a little bit more heavily as the smokes are being thrown at Hisoka, covering the area while the revive is laid out. Good stuff. What do you make of La Familia not pushing that? Do you think they should have? Or they're thinking, okay, well, we'll waste time if we try and push that. There's no real benefit.
They're down to 2 players. 2 players with a Pachinki finish. Does mean rotating into Pachinki if you can find a spot. It does make it worth it. But at the flip side, down to 2 players, you don't have much power. It could go either way. But Mega Power, they need to hold down this defense. 4 Romanian boys, they should know that this is Mega Power. They should know they have a 4v3 advantage once they get the revive. Both of these teams on the very edge of circle. Romanian boys, though, they got to move a little bit quicker or else they'll be in the blue.
It's difficult. I understand you have the dip and you want to use that dip, but relying on the dip too much can be a bad thing. They got a return knock onto one of the Mega Power players that has slowed them down, but Rite, again, getting that second knock has slowed down 4 Romanian boys even more. I don't know whether he's going to disengage. He's getting into the buggy. That will be a hurt, and that might be a bad play indeed, but the bait comes through. Nice. Beautiful execution by Mega Power. Rex getting the knock.
Rex had that Overwatch ready. That buggy eject was more of a bait play. Before Romanian Boys, they're sneaking down the hillside. They can't take it up by force, but they can stay alive. Not Wix, though. Wix goes down to that blue zone. It'll be set to a 3v3. And next circle,
Oh my god.
Imperium.
Oh my god.
It's what you wanted. Yes! Merry Christmas, Imperium.
Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Birthday, all the holidays in the world all go to me. And I feel sorry for these teams. Rex with a nice flank to get a second knock. And I gotta say, 4 Romanian Boys are being put down to the ground by a 3-man Mega Power team. This is the Mega Power that we saw in the PMCO group stage. Let's make no mistakes about it. We shouldn't really be surprised that they're getting the better 4 Romanian Boys. And now they're going to look to dance away and shimmy in the buggy. But that buggy is down a wheel. He's not going anywhere far, anywhere quickly. Last fight is right in front of them. La Familia go down at the hands of Daos Legion. 4 Romanian Boys survive.
I love that push by Mega Power. Really showed who's boss. Mega Power, they're showing signs of life, but this circle, going back to their hometown, is going to be tough. FTY also coming in on a rotation, cutting through Mega Power and 4 Romanian Boys. FTY stopping short to take a fight. One of them goes down. Looks like they are going to be pinched between 2 different teams.
To me, FTY weren't responsive enough, weren't aggressive enough off the back of the previous circle shift, and they get caught off guard. This is knocked down. It's not over yet for FTY, but they're prioritizing rotating into a circle. When you're so late, you can't really make that mistake. They're going to go past. That's going to be Nox taken down to ground. He gets knocked, you might add. Simple going to be the second player down. And again, FTY, too slow to react. They're paying the price. Just Biscay left on his own. I know what he can do. It's going to be so much harder because he's not even inside the circle.
Biscay's trying to go for that revive, but I don't think the blue zone will allow it. 4 Romanian Boys, good recovery. It looked like they were about to be finished by Mega Power, but now the tables have turned. They're actually taking some Mega Power out just by rotating ahead of them. Still not yet in the zone. 4 Romanian Boys still got one team left to press. But last fight right here, they have a strong position. They have the shack and they have the pipeline for cover. It is not looking good for 4 Romanian Boys.
Oh my god. The Noisy Boys are just cleaning up right now. Look at the damage from Azara, 577 so far. Also, Alicio is doing a wonderful job for the feeders. Credit where it's due. Sorry for skill takes down Addis. I believe that is the end of FTY. I'm not mistaken. No, they're still alive. 1 player left. Biscay. Rex inside the fields of Pachinki. The next circle is about to pop up. Phase 6. Is it going to shift ever brighter into the buildings of Pachinki? They do, but right on top of the Noisy Boys.
Ooh, Rex gets back behind that hay bale just in time, but I think Rex, or Redox, but I think Rex might have heard him, and Redox still goes down anyways. And the circle shifts once again, and it favors the Noisy Boys. The Noisy Boys have full control of that eastern side of the circle. Everybody else is going to crash and slam each other on the western side. It is going to be a killing field, or should I say a killing city, because everyone is dying in this Pachinki city.
Killing is my business, and for the Noisy Boys, business is good right now. 8 kills so far in this game, and as they encroach onto the area of the feeders, and Nade is going to get the better of them. Beg for mercy, making the feeders beg for mercy as we're down to 10 teams.
That was a 2-pointer if I ever saw one. 1 grenade, 2 finishes. Noisy Boys up to 10 points. Look at the difference right now. Only last fight has 8 kill points. Everyone else struggling on the kills. And the Noisy Boys, they have the circle, and they still have 4 alive. And the med kit strategy, some teams got to start considering. Maybe you just got a med kit for this one.
And hey, I questioned all Rejection's rotation on phase 2. 4 phases later, they're still in Pachinki. They're still up as a full squad with 4 kills. So gotta give them big props for that. It's not over yet. The biggest journey is in front of them. You have last fight on board. XTEAM down to solo. Rexpect have 2 players alive. Look at that overview of Pachinki. This is a classics game personified.
100%. I've done some Pachinki hot drop custom rooms in my time, and it looks something like this. but it's not a lobby full of PMCO heavily gun skilled players. This Pachinki is not like your regular custom room Pachinkis. This is a whole different nightmare.
Daos Legion sweeping in, still a full squad up. I want to make a note of that because it's not too often Daos Legion come into phase 6 or so with still a full squad alive. 3 kills secured by them so far in this game. New generation, their solo player Red X, slaying low, staying proud, hoping he can survive more and more into this game. Last fight, have a player knocked down. Daos Legion now starting to move closer. So many colors of the rainbow inside so few buildings of Pachinki. We're about to move into phase 7.
Ooh, phase 7. It's gonna stay in Pachinki. I mean, even if it hard shifts somewhere, we're gonna have Pachinki in zone, and it shifts. It actually goes a little bit away from the Noisy Boys. This is great to see though, because Noisy Boys do have 4 up. They can find a way to fight in, to spearhead their way into the next building. This is gonna come down to building siege and building defense out of these teams.
It's very difficult because there's so much going on around you. It's hard to keep control. It's hard to keep track of everything that's happening. Rexpect lost a player. They do have that 1 player left up who's still in the circle. All Rejection Gaming are much closer to Daos Legion than they are to the Noisy Boys, but a third party could ensue. FPP mode is going to be the name of the game when it comes to engaging inside these buildings of Pachinki. To Tati, a knock on the Bobby Can, King Versi on the Mazzaro. Nades are flying. Players are going down left, right, and center.
Everybody's getting a nade. You get a nade. You get a nade. There's another nade and another nade. Oh, when everyone's stuck in these buildings, man, the nades come through. He did not want to get naded, but guess what? He got shot down and thirsted. So it's a killing field, or these buildings are death. It's no way around it. You gotta fight to the death now.
Tell you, if someone was going around selling peace, nobody would be buying. I'll tell you that much. It's absolutely crazy in this Pachinki ending. Daos Legion, again, credit where it's due, still 4 players up. 5 kills so far. All Rejection Gaming down to 2, and they're pinched to that 1 blue and white building on the cusp of the circle. All Rejection, what can they do? The Noisy Boys have been staying a little bit quiet. Last fight go down. They were closer to the edge of the field, and the Noisy Boys, I believe, helped to get the better of them. 14 kills for the Albanian side.
14 kills and still 4 players alive. There goes 1 team out. Now it's just down to 4 different teams. The Noisy Boys pressing in. It's a 4v4 between Daos and the Noisy Boys, and we have 2 solos on the other side of the road. And FTY is still in the game along with Rexpect. Wait, are you telling me that Rexpect player crossed the road at some point? Because he was
already across the road. No, he was already across the road. They had 2 players split up, but now he's being taken down.
Okay, now he's not on either side of the road. that is Rexpect out 4v4 B1 Imperium. And that was a very important
kill. Yeah, he's got the zone. Very important circle for Daos Legion. Sorry, very important kill for Daos Legion, should I say, because that opened the doors for them to crash into the building. Smoke's going everywhere as Agon snakes it across the road. Snakes on the plane, snakes on the road of Pachinki. He's made it in. He's going to hear the footsteps of Sava. He's looking in the direction of him. This could be the beautiful opening for the Noisy Boys. As I said, 14 kills so far in this game, phase 8. The blue zone is closing in. Saba has a wall as protection. It's a very important wall for Daos Legion to hold on to.
You know, you question FTY only had Biscay left. You question what he can do. Well, right now, I don't think anybody is focused on Biscay. We could see a 4v4 with a huge third party. That is 1 knock onto the side, and that's a trade knock. It's a 3v3 situation.
Exactly what Biscay wants. Exactly what Biscay wants. I wonder if he's keeping an eye on the kill feed right now. Up on top of the building, the balcony plays. Simple moves on now. He's going to go across the way after risky play, but he gets a knock. Beautiful play from Daos Legion. Agon pulling the revive onto Mazzaro. Body slowly whittling down in this fight. You have Andy in the backline area. looking to try and provide that level of support. He does get the knock with Doozy on the 7. Being traded off. Biscay with the Groza. Biscay with the Groza. Daos Legion are out. We're left with our final two teams. The backstab comes in. The first aid is played out. Mizzaro's cooked on up and aid. Knows exactly where he is. But that knock comes in. The confirmation. Biscay, he's pulling it off. Can he make it count? But at the end of the day, it's still a 1v3, Zute.
It is 1v3. Biscay's looking so strong, though. There's no way the Noisy Boys should lose this. If they lose this, we will be making fun of them in the Discord for the next 3 days in a row. No question asked. But Biscay, he is getting pushed. FTY, this is their last stand. It's a siege. He's doing really great peaks, but he's not landing the knocks. The Noisy Boys getting closer and closer and closer. Biscay does get one. It's a 1v2 now.
One knock, one confirmation. Biscay's pulling off. He's going to get out. He knows he has to pull it off big. It's Sliver of Health on board. Comes in through the cracks of the tractor. The Noisy Boys close it out. They get the chicken dinner in Erangel.
Holy S-word, Imperium. That's one way to start the day. That is the most exciting game we've had of PMCO in its entirety so far. And of course,
I agree.
Biscay and the Noisy Boys. What a story to be had right there. Noisy Boys, he lost 2 in a 4v1 against Biscay, man. Oh, Biscay. And the third-party timing out of Biscay onto Daos Legion. He couldn't have timed that even more perfectly.
Nope.
What a game number one. What a game number one.
Like, it's the kind of game where you can kind of analyze it a little bit. You can't really because it was just so destructive towards the end. Props massively goes to the Noisy Boys and Daos Legion. 110%. Yeah. Especially Noisy Boys. Racking up all those kills in Pachinki. That's how you control a city. If you're going to commit to it, that's exactly how you control it. You cannot let teams get closer to you, and with the amount of kills they got, that was obviously the case. They allowed the defeaters to survive and, if anything, helped them up until a certain point, but the second they realized that they had no more use for the defeaters, they're like, yeah, okay, we'll just take them out, we'll move on into the circle. But let's have a look at the match rankings, because the points acquired by a number of these teams is so important in terms of the finals standings.
The Noisy Boys with 16 kills, 31 points. The previous record was 32, but this is the finals. And to get 31 points in one game in the finals, huge shout outs to the Noisy Boys. They definitely made a whole lot of noise in Pachinki.
And remember, at the start of the PMCO, I highlighted Biscay as a man to watch out for, as a player that could come out on top of PMCO as the MVP. If that wasn't MVP plays, I don't know what was. Clearly poor team performance. Let's be fair. Let's be critical. It was terrible team performance. But when you have a player like Biscay that can easily give a viewer goosebumps how good he is, clutch that out with the second place, 6 kills, and an 18-pointer game, you can't help but be impressed.
Definitely MVP of the team for sure. But if he wanted MVP of PMCO, he needed that one before. He got really close, but I'm just laying it out there. But FTY with 6 kill points, all 6 from Biscay. And the placement points, all 12. Biscay pretty much got for FTY. So Biscay got 18 points for FTY. Simple as that. Daos Legion, great performance by Daos. We were talking about how Daos has been struggling with their edging. They've managed to break their way in, 18 points. Last fight, also great performance. From first to 6th place, everybody did good. Rexpect even got 9 points there. TipTop 5. Sorry, 4. Let's go on to the second page now and see the teams that didn't get the memo that the party was in Pachinki.
Mega Power, another poor performance. You know, you mentioned it. I know Hot Jukes off broadcast mentioned it. this could be potentially their last game to really make a challenge in the top of the PMCO finals. It's kind of benefited by the fact that 4 Romanian boys who had a 20-point lead over second place only got 3 points. But man, Mega Power needed all of the points that they could get in this game one.
There was definitely there's a shakeup for sure in the leaderboards, especially with 4 Romanian boys only getting 3 points. So that's 2 games in a row that 4 Romanian boys have slacked 1 point and then 3 points. So even with that dominant performance in the very first 3 games of the finals, it does not mean anybody has secured the number 1 position. It's going to be a continuous onslaught battle between all of these teams. The Noisy Boys, they put a mark into the finals. They want the PMPL final spot, but another team can easily step up and do the same, and that's what makes this finals right now so exciting. Game by game, we can see different teams really show up.
I need a break after that Pachinki finish. I need to cool off. So let's head to a break. We'll see you guys in a couple of minutes for game 2 of the day.
and welcome back to the PMCU EU Wildcard Finals. And what a game, number one. Imperium was not joking when he said he needed a break. I think he got a little bit too excited, maybe a little happy accident. I'm sorry, Imperium. That was not planned. It just came to mind. But in place of Imperium, because, you know, Imperium's happy after that one, we got the one and only Hot Jukes.
What's up, Big Papa? Dude, man, good to be back here and casting some PUBG Mobile, bro. I got to watch that last game, and bro, come on. I mean, it's got to be a sign, right? The best game that we've seen so far, you know? Papa's back. I mean, coincidence? I think not.
Everything is lining up. I'll tell you one thing though. It's not lining up for Mega Power. Mega Power, we touched on as the number one team in the group stage. You brought it up before the broadcast started. Hey, this team needs to start doing good right now if they want a chance to get number one. And it did not go their way. And even more like salt in the wound, the circle ended where they started, their hometown. That must be a huge feels bad for Mega Power.
I mean, the way that this is set up, like the old the wise Ricky Bobby once said, dude, if you ain't first, you're last, bro. And where they're sitting at right now, I mean, I'm pretty sure they're going to be sitting pretty down low. And the crazy part is, like, that's exactly what it is. It's like only first place is the goal. Like, that should be every single team. They should be looking at getting first place. And if you even want a shot at that, Mega Power needs to pop off like these next 3 games, all chicken dinners, and then the next 2 days pop off as well, and hope the top teams don't. So they put themselves in an insane position to start things off here so far.
Definitely not good. I love the whole Ricky Bobby's, if you're not first, you're last, because literally that's what it is in this situation. We're used to seeing like top 3 move on, top 2 move on, but if you're not first, you may as well be last. Of course, there is a bit of a prize pool difference, but the teams really want that PMPL spot. That's what they're in for. That's why they're competing. And now that last game was crazy. One of the craziest Erangel circles that I've like able to cast, and the ending itself in that Erangel was also wild. But we're moving on to the next map. Next map being Sanhok. Now, Sanhok, also known for the violence that ensues. What are you feeling about this Sanhok match coming in, man?
I mean, Sanhok's always that map, right? That like anybody can pop off at any time. So I'm looking for teams that are really kind of in that mid-pack point, maybe even at the bottom, to have like a crazy pop off, like 20 kill chicken dinner. Because if there's going to be a map that can happen, it's here. So one thing I'm going to be looking for really closely is, because we know the importance of especially in Sanhok zones, right? Like if you get the right position in Sanhok, you're having an insane game. What I want to though see is whichever team does get that good position, can they capitalize on it? Can they get that 20 kill chicken dinner? Because to be honest with you, if they can't, then they're not going to go to PMPL. Like seriously. And even if they did, they're not going to make it in PMPL, because all the top teams over there, when they get that good spot, they're winning 100% of the time. So that's what I'm going to be really looking for here in this next Sanhok.
Fair enough. Well, okay, so based on that first game you saw, it was pretty wild. Teams kind of, died left and right everywhere. It got congested. But if you had to pick that one team to get the chicken dinner based on what you saw, which team would you throw it to?
Man, I mean, I think Noisy Boys played that really well. I think they really did. I think towards the end, it got just a little bit squirrely when they let one kind of go down. I think they should have kind of baited him out and be able to get those shots. But the way they performed overall, obviously they got the chicken dinner, so it's a little easy for me to kind of predict, or say it from there. But I think that at the end of the day, having 3 up, the way they did it, it was clean.
Okay. All right. Sanhok, the map of speed and violence. We're about to get into the game. But before we get into the game, you can enjoy a super fast and lag-free PUBG mobile experience on Xiaomi's powerful Redmi Note 10 5G. Bam! I think I nailed that one.
Love it.
Imperium's been saying it this whole time. I think I might just take Imperium's job. I felt pretty good with that one. The Xiaomi Note 10. Let's go. All right, Jukes.
Let's get it.
What?
Let's get it, baby.
Are you ready?
Oof.
You're ready,
bro?
for this?
Born ready. Come on now, dude. I'm ready to see some Sanhok action. Let's go.
I know it's your first day back, but that first game, it had to have warmed you up. It warmed me up. It warmed Imperium up. I'm pretty sure the viewers are warmed up as well. Now, Sanhok, plane path, circles. We don't know where it's going, but we do know it's going to be action-packed. And, dude, Jukes, I'm still thinking about that game number one. I'm still thinking about that game number one. My mind can't. Dude,
I love urban finishes, bro. Like anytime you get that kind of like final circle or you have a lot of buildings, you're always going to just see just some crazy action to happen. And Sanhok, buildings are going to be away. So we're going to the jungle. I think I hear them, Zute. I think I hear the people in the plane. Okay. Let's get it going. Match number 2. Let's go. Here we are, bro.
Here we are. Indeed, the plane coming through straight down the middle, a good plane path for all of these teams. I want to see a really good circle, just like game 1, a circle where everybody gets a chance to fight their way in, and then the chaos that ensues is just absolutely beautiful.
Man, we're starting to see, of course, some people drop off right off the bat. I think this is going to start getting to the point, Zute, and I want to ask you this because since it's only, literally, if you're not first, you're last, right? At what point are we going to start seeing some of these teams, like in that mid-bottom pack, going to start doing something desperate to try and get some crazy points or try to snipe the top teams? Like, when do you think that's going to happen? Do you think it's going to happen here? Because, I mean, honestly, it's totally possible. Or do you think maybe tomorrow? I don't know.
I think it won't happen until the last day. Now, to get number 1, right? It's not about you it's not just about you getting the points, meaning it's not just about you hot dropping a team, killing them off and getting 4 placement points. To get number 1, it also heavily depends on how the number 1 team does. And even if you snipe out the number 1 team, it really depends on how the number 2 team does that game. So the hot drops, yes, traditionally they are a way for you to climb up the rankings, but that's like the general rankings. To climb to that number 1 spot, that's a tough one. I've never been in a situation where it's like, if you're not first, you're last. Yeah. So I can't really answer that question. If you're in the middle of the bottom pack, I think it helps to start off with 4 early kills. And then after that, you just play it like a classic match. Drive around and kill off everybody else. That would be the only way you catch up to number 1.
Right? Dude, this is so crazy to think about. I mean, obviously, it looks like everybody is playing it pretty fair to start off here. So I think we have a little bit of time to kind of just hash this out. Because let's be real, bro. Like, let's say right now, what is the top team in the lobby? Top team in the lobby is like Noisy Boys, 4 Romanian Boys, right? The boys. Let's say that one of these teams gets let's say a 60-point lead in first place, above second. With that kind of lead,
I hear that correct?
Yeah, let's just say 60, right? Or let's say 40, right? A 40-point lead, above the rest of the lobby.
Listening.
Okay, wouldn't it make sense for the entire lobby to go and take them out?
Oh, okay, yeah, it makes sense because everybody wants first place, and if first place is that far ahead, then what's the point doing here, Jigs?
Right? I mean, like, am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong, but that won't happen. It just won't. We won't see 4 to 5 teams. We won't see the whole lobby drop on the first place team just because they all want first place. That would be something else to see, but I don't think that will happen in this world or the next. I'm sorry, Hot Cheeks.
I don't know, bro. I don't know because, I mean, I would get it if it's like, I mean, because here's the thing. It's like they have to be realistic and just understand that, like, hey, there's going to be a certain, if that happens, there's going to be a point where all the teams are going to be like, this team has to go out or none of us stand a chance. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally no chance at all. They have to go out last.
True.
So that's where I think things are going to get a little bit tricky because it's just, we've never seen that kind of setup before. So I'm interested to see, like, what new, like, kind of, like, desperation tactics we're going to see from some of these squads. I think it's possible.
So if the Noisy Boys get another chicken dinner right now and do really well, you can will that to manifest, where the Noisy Boys are 30 points, 40 points ahead, and then everybody. But it's only day number 2, so even if it happens in day number 2, where the Noisy Boys are ahead, I don't think anyone's gonna hard target them. We'll see in the coming days, though. I mean, Hot Jukes, you're here with us for the next 2 days as well. Maybe your dream might come true, just like Imperium's dream of getting that Pachinki finish. And my God, that was a great Pachinki finish. Thank you, Imperium. That Christmas gift was not just for you, but it was for me. It was for the viewers. It was for everybody to enjoy. And Biscay definitely got a little bit of a spotlight too. And of course, the chicken dinners. But we're on Sanhok, so let's focus back on Sanhok. So the first circles come up were centered around the southwestern island. Not a very typical circle. Circles usually are always on the eastern island, but we did have a similar circle and on Sanhok yesterday, so the teams do have a little bit of familiarity as far as it comes to rotations, how other teams rotate. And for Romanian Boys, they dropped Painan. They stayed there the whole time yesterday in a similar circle, and they're doing the same for this first circle right now.
Yeah, look like they're trying to get a nice little safe rotation. La Familia is what we're looking at on the beautiful tuk-tuk. Getting on over. Oh, they're going to find a nice little beautiful vehicle. Get moving. Yeah, anytime you see these kind of island, circles, if it does like really lock onto it, teams, they know by now, like, hey, we got to get moving. We got to get moving really early. And I think that's what we're seeing. And so far, so good, because we haven't seen a crazy amount of fighting or anything yet. So it looks like these guys have done their research and they're just rotating very, very smart throughout this map to get prepared for that toxic zone 5 here in Sanhok. Man, it gets rough when it starts getting to that point.
The teams are rotating a little bit slower than usual. I think they're taking a breather from that first game with how chaotic it was. But ENTROPIQ taking some shots at Defeaters. Defeaters, using that vehicle, rotating by a full team, barely make it through. And I think it's just 2 players of Defeaters. They're only a 3-man team right now. The third player kind of got left behind, didn't get the memo to hop on the ride, but now it's a 2-1 split for Defeaters. Not a good start for them. You definitely never want to be split on Sanhok.
Okay, here we go. Looks like we do have a little bit of a battle going on back and forth here. Looks like it's just CLW up left for his team, but he's going to get taken out. So New Generation going to get the first squad wipe here in Sanhok. Sorry for Skill. I mean, sorry for your team, man. That hurts.
First team out on Sanhok. That happened so fast. We barely caught the tail end of that fight, but you see it right there. New Generation, 4 kills, 2 players knocked. None of them were thirsted, so they get that full reset. You know what? I think that fight started out with a trap. The only reason both teams were so close to the buildings was probably because New Generation just did the classic Sanhok strategy. Don't make a noise. Pretend we're not here. And then when they bust open the door, all 4 of us start shooting. And that fight ended as quickly as what I just narrated. That's most likely what happened. Now, Defeaters caught on the low ground. ENTROPIQ saw that vehicle come up. They have a good idea that the Defeaters are in front of them. You see them jumping around up top, trying to just sniff out where the Defeaters could be hiding.
Yeah, sorry for Skill getting hit with that good old-fashioned peekaboo, man. Didn't stand a chance. So deadly inside of Sanhok. Starting to see the Defeaters just kind of really just hold this angle. ENTROPIQ has to have an idea that they are in this area, because you could just see George, or maybe not, over here by Cave. Okay, maybe he's just trying to get some sight lines out on the way, but looking to opt to rotate instead of them. What do you feel about these kind of vehicle rotations we've seen a lot in Sanhok? Oh, this bridge, though. Hold on. Mega Power. Are they going to see the cross?
I think both teams. Oh, and it's the Noisy Boys, too. They don't.
Turned on.
That is not a good start.
Here comes the rest of the team trying to support him, but he already got taken out, so they're at a huge advantage. Mega Power just got caught slipping.
Slipping indeed. Mega Power, I think their mental is at a low. I've never seen this team. Like, I get you have bad games, but for that player to mess up like that, Mega Power's mental must be suffering right now. Players on this team usually do not play like that. But the Noisy Boys, we know they're on fire, especially after last game. They get that revive. It's a 4v3 situation. What a shot 4v2 situation now. Mazzaro coming in with that headshot.
Looking beautiful. Here comes Felagod. Got the nade locked and loaded. Going to try and be able to make something happen for his squad. This is a complete act of desperation, because here come the Noisy Boys. He really doesn't stand a chance, especially with these nade plays. Mazzaro just feeling himself with a nice pre-fire. He knows the situation. Oh, he actually caught a Molotov, and he is running for his life. And it only looks like a matter of time, because the Noisy Boys are not hesitating even for a second.
Now they are pressing building by building, pushing Mega Power further and further back. Mega Power got the reset, but it does not matter if they cannot maintain the grounds. 3v2 situation, except Noisy Boys could get the revive. This grenade from Rex has to come in huge if Mega Power stands a chance. No connection.
That's tough. That's tough. That nade would have been big, but Lodges ends up catching one of the Noisy Boys outside and does get the third, so that's going to be a point for them in the slightest. Mega Power have been able to get a nice reset, almost. They have just been crawling back to each other. What? 3v3
further
now?
and further back. But Logis, that off angle by Logis was so smart. The Noisy Boys was not expecting it. We saw Mega Power get pushed back building by building, and it looked worse and worse. Logis realized if we keep hiding in these buildings, they're just going to outnumber us eventually. So finding that cheeky off angle, gets that knock, and most importantly, he got the thirst. It is reset to 3v3. Now, both teams, now that it's even, neither team has a real advantage, and we might just see the stalemate come through. And the circle did shift, by the way. The circle hard shifted north, putting these two teams dead in the center of zone. So neither team might push each other.
But last fight from up on top of the hill do end up catching one of the members from Mega Power. So now they are down to a 2-man, and they are sandwiched in between two squads. Nowhere to really run. Last fight, they have an option to obviously try to go ahead towards circle, but they can also try to pick up these points here. And I think that push by the Noisy Boys was looking so solid, but maybe a little bit of just overconfidence, and they kind of got caught slipping. What do you think?
Oh, I mean, I have to give credit to Logis. That little cheeky off angle I would not expect, but the fight's not done yet. We're switching on over to ENTROPIQ versus QILIN. ENTROPIQ starting off this one with the 4-man advantage. They just picked up that 1 kill, that QILIN player riding on that buggy, and QILIN's actually super split. Crank all the way in the far back. He does have some sight lines, but this is a tricky fight for QILIN to cover.
Yeah, you can see sound from ENTROPIQ trying to... Looks like they're going to throw some smokes down that area to kind of just cover that sight line a little bit. Bo trying to catch somebody with a nade. This is a hard one to throw. It looks like they're just going to try to buy some time to be able to get into this next circle. But they are holding some very good angles up on top of this hill. So they got to be very careful. This next circle is going to be huge, though. Where is it going to shift? That's all I'm looking at right now. And it looks like it's going to go back towards boot camp. All right, back to mainland. A lot of teams got to get moving.
That is a hard shift for sure. I don't know if these teams will recognize that a hard shift like that has happened, and there's a space opening like that. The new generation, this is Sanhok to a dime. When you get in a team fight and you make too much noise, one team nearby is going to be looking to third party. A new generation taking advantage of that. They already have 4 kills. They're about to pick up a couple more onto this ENTROPIQ team. And ENTROPIQ looking so strong in this 4v3. Little do they know, there's another full team involved.
Oh, man, I wish we could have seen New Generation's face. The second that zone shifted and they knew where teams had to go, their head just turned straight back around. And they were like, all right, yeah, we got squads over here for sure. We know they're headed this way. And they are just lasering them right now. So ENTROPIQ is in really big trouble. New Generation looking like they're trying to get into circle a little bit quicker, but not before they take one more kill under their belt. And man, we're starting to see some teams just act very, very desperate here.
Desperate indeed. Side note, just like yesterday on Sanhok, Daos Legion stayed in the blue for like almost every circle and looted up the medkits, and they're doing a same exact strategy. So Daos Legion they'll come into play later. But the big thing to take note of, if a team kills Daos Legion, that team will have access to probably 30 plus first aids, and it will come into play on Sanhok. So take a mental note of that, guys. We might see it happen. It might not happen. But the teams are still heating up right now. TipTop breaching into Painan for Romanian Boys home. They get one knock, but those smokes should secure the revive for TipTop, resetting it back to a 4v4.
I would be surprised if we're just going to see just kind of a little back and forth here. Nothing too crazy. Of course, unless 4 Romanian Boys get another knock, we know this team could definitely play aggressive, but it looks like they're also very split up. So it's kind of, I think they're just right now just trying to hold, poke at him a little bit, just kind of show him who's boss, and then just kind of wait it out. That's a nice Molotov. That actually caught him. So 4 Romanian Boys are not letting off the pressure. They definitely want to control this side of the circle.
I like this split.
Be careful, though.
This split is to just make sure that they don't get third party like we just saw what New Generation did to ENTROPIQ. ENTROPIQ was fully focused on one team on one side, completely gave up their backs. But for Romanian Boys, this is one reason why they are a top contending team. They have the ability to not just hard focus one side, but they have the awareness to maintain their angles. They have a beautiful split. This split isn't to necessarily kill TipTop, but it's to choke them out and also make sure they don't get third partied.
Yeah, I think that right now this is a really solid split. If he can be able to get this knock, especially, you could see Playboy really looking. Oh, almost got caught. Nice peek back. If the circle does come here, though, I wouldn't be surprised if we see them all group up, because we're going to see teams start slamming into Painan, and it does end up heading a little bit towards them. So 4 Romanian Boys are going to have to still get moving, it looks like. Not before they put out a little bit more pressure. TipTop. And yeah, look at this, man. This squad instantly. The second they recognize that zone shift, on the move.
Yeah, they are on the move indeed. They have the edge of circle in Painan, so that really kind of just makes them want to, okay, we'll just play edge of circle. It's the only building left, so TipTop, they're going to be exposed no matter what, so just let them run into the open, and we'll take the fight later with them. Plus, you don't know if any other team's going to look towards that Painan direction, so very good decision-making there. Now, TipTop, they've got to make a move, and they've recognized it very quickly. The other team has backed off. Now we got to make a play.
And I just love how, like, they backed off instantly. Zero hesitation. Instantly moving. They recognize the situation. That's what it takes if you're going to be a top squad. That's why we see them at the top. A lot of other teams trying to fight for that spot. And we're starting to see Rexpect Esports down here. Getting caught. Out. Boppy. Getting caught wide out in the open. Yeah, he ain't getting up from that one. So the rest of the team trying to get the reses. New Generation knows that they're hurt. Is Keem going to go and try and press this? Looks like he is. Salazar only had that really thin tree to be able to survive and gets taken out. New Generation at 8 kills so far. Great game for them.
New Generation starting this one off extremely strong. Fight's not done. Last fight, getting into a fight with All Rejection Gaming. Looks like they want this little house. Might have set a trap for All Rejection. All Rejection actually has some players up on the hilltop, so it might have been last fight that Preston and won this. But, oh, the Noisy Boys. We forgot about them. Making some noise to remind us, hey, we're here. We were fighting Mega Power, and we're still alive. And now they have control of the very top of the hill. Noisy Boys putting themselves in a great spot.
Oh, yeah, they're setting themselves up really nice. And I can already just see, you look at the Noisy Boys, you look at, 4 Romanian Boys, the boys in general. Like, their level of play here is definitely, I think, starting to shine among some of the other squads. We're starting to see a little bit of hesitation here and there. Oh. These guys, though, they make very, very little mistakes, and they hit those. Zute, they hit those.
I gotta say this. You know who else is an OP boy?
Who?
I'm gonna give you a few seconds because I think you'll get it. I'll give you 5 seconds.
Who is an
You're gonna
OP
hate that you didn't get it. You're gonna hate that you don't get it.
I already feel hate in my heart, bro.
Paraboy. Boy.
Oh, Paraboy. I said boy.
And old boy. Yes, and old. I think that's the new trend. Instead of naming yourself boy, name the team boy. So then the whole team gets the boy buff.
The buff, dude.
And speaking about boy, Playboy getting a knock right there. We're trendsetters, Hot Jukes.
That's boy squared. That's boy squared,
The
bro.
boys are back in town. And when I
Yes,
say
they
town, I
are.
mean Pinon, because that is their town. So they are not giving that town over to Tip Top, gatekeeping them out. But the circle has shifted. We're moving on up a little bit further north. There's not much cover left besides 2 compounds. Everybody else, this is when you're going to see a lot of these teams start dying off.
Yeah, dude, I think Tip Top right now, they need to start getting into med strat territory, because trying to get into this circle is going to be a really, really big task ahead of them. New Generation, they are the kill leaders so far of this game. 9 total. Oh, Daos Legion. Oh, Entropiq down, taken out. I mean, that's just goes with the territory inside of Sanhok. So Daos are going to be able to get at least 1 kill. Starting to leg it into zone. Simple is. I don't think he had any first aid. Oh, no, he did. He did have one.
He had 13.
Did have a couple. Yeah, no, he's 17.
Yeah,
oh,
he picked up more. I'm telling, this is Daos Legion's strategy. They just
it's gonna work.
The first aids, and they backstab you in the back on Sanhok, and then they just first aided out. I mean, if they go out now, they secure 10th. He's got quite a few more first aids. He needs to survive this one final zone. This final zone, this is going to be the ending that we want in Sanhok. Just completely down in the dips, no hard cover left, save like a shack, and everybody has to start moving in. For Romanian Boys, though, they are looking so strong with that close circle shift.
The laydown shots, able to catch one of those members from New Generation. And now the next zone is going to favor both of these squads. I think at some point they almost have to kind of look at each other and be like, all right, you guys cover the right, we'll cover the left, and deal with each other later. But we're starting to see one of the members get knocked. Oh, never mind. Banks says, I want to take this side. Some nice shots onto Bright and New Generation. This hilltop here, I mean, this is a really, really good spot.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since we're on the thin side, as the circle, yeah.
Yeah, the circle's going to shift slower. It will allow them to kind of move in when they want to, but there's no real cover when it shifts down some more. They maybe got some trees, but that's about it. 4 Romanian Boys down to 3 now.
They do have that little hill as well to kind of help protect them from New Generation for a little bit of time. But we're starting to see teammates try to send it with a bike in the center. Yeah, that ain't going to work out. Not at this level. So they get taken out. But we're starting to see a couple other squads going to have to press it. Man, this is a horrible circle finish. I mean, there is no cover anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I was wrong. New Generation actually has another rock for them at zone, and the X team looking like the team to clutch out this game. They've already set up a 2-2 split. 2 on the left, 2 on the right. Oh, that is looking beautiful. 4 Romanian Boys, so can maybe sneak into that circle. It still dips down a little bit there. Maybe they won't be spotted by X team, but New Generation, you see the first aids already. They realize we're not making it into this next one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. This is a time where you just pass them all to one player and then just have the other just kind of make something happen, because getting into this zone, good luck. Or maybe even just not want to sacrifice any points, because the second you run out, yeah, look at this. Not even run out, just look out. Forget it. Taken out instantly. Gonna get that thirst. Oh, but 4 Romanian Boys stole it. They took another point from X Team. What a crazy finish here.
Biscay is still running. He's out of first aids. I don't think he can make it in the blue. He might get one knock before he goes down. No, he goes down to the play zone. We're down to 4 teams. 2 teams actively fighting. The other 2 from somewhere is just first aiding. We don't even see it on the map.
Red.
Redox getting a huge knock 3v3 situation for this last coming fight.
Redox just going off. I mean, this lay down fire. X team really needs to get something happening. And unfortunately, I don't think they have any utility left. Gold Touch got that M249, trying to apply some more pressure. Redox is holding that bush, and he's holding it tight. He doesn't want to make a move of muscle just yet, trying to catch X team slipping. But it looks like X team, they have the big advantage. Oh, he gets caught out. That's it, X team. Oh, just taking it to the bank after that. Well done, bro. That last game, we saw some big point sponges, I think, especially from just only a handful of teams. I mean, they took some people out. Nice.
Yeah, X team, one of the teams that we haven't really, shined a spotlight on. So once again, another team securing a chicken dinner. soaking up some points and stamping their name in contention for that number 1 spot. First game, we saw the Noisy Boys do it. Second game, now we see XTEAM. 4 Romanian boys stuck it out, made it strong, made it all the way in. There was like 3 different teams that were out of the fight. FTY, New Generation, and QILIN. They were just meting their way up, but that is to be expected on Sanhok. I will say though, this is the first Sanhok game I've seen where we had multiple teams med stratting in the final circles. I think now that we're coming down to the finals, these teams are pulling out every tactic they can to get every little placement points they can.
Yeah, I mean, every point is going to be just insanely crucial. I wouldn't be surprised if we see like the difference in at the end of all this only being just like a couple points at most, dude. And the hard part, though, I think, especially for teams right now looking at the leaderboards, which we'll find out a little bit later, XTEAM, yeah, they won, right? They won that game. Let's go ahead and pull up the rankings so you can see the numbers exactly, right? Let's just go ahead and pull it up. And XTEAM won. But 4 Romanian boys were right next to him, dude. I mean, look at this. XTEAM 26 points, 4 Romanian boys 21 points. And this is the issue that I was talking to you about, Sute. Yeah, you could put up some pop-off games, but if those top teams keep popping off, you ain't catching them, bro. And it's only and first place is the goal.
Yeah, first place is the goal. I don't see... Oh, the Noisy Boys are down there with 4 points, but 4 Romanian boys... Oh, massive game. I think 4 Romanian boys are going to maintain that first place overall. XTEAM, huge game for them. They kind of just put their names back in the list of contending for that number 1 spot. They still got a ways to go. And I'm looking at the rest of the list. Daos Legion, that med strat, I think he might have mistimed a first aid kit. That might be potentially why they only managed 2 placement points. Or it could be there was so many other teams going for the medkit strat too, that Daos Legion just did not get the better end of the stick there. FTY, 10 kill points, good game by them. But let's take a look at the second page. Let's see where the other teams fell in here. Now the second page is going to look really rough. Yep. 2 teams with 0 for 2 teams with a donut, 3 teams with only 1 point, and Mega Power.
Yikes.
The chapter is closing on them. This Mega Power team. Closed. I think their mentality is just completely shot by now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you got to just be realistic and just look at the math, man. I mean, they are so far behind now that it would just need a ridiculous, just something we've never seen before. It's like in order for it to happen. I mean, is it impossible? No, I've never seen it before though. So yeah, I mean, it's just a tough break for them. I mean, congratulations for them making it this far. The crazy part, though, like, again, when I go back to it, man, is like you saw XTEAM and 4 Romanian boys. Prior to this game, Zute, they had a 40-point gap, right?
Okay.
And if you're XTEAM, you win this game, you're hype, right? You're like, sick, dude, we're going to be flying up the leaderboards. Awesome. The problem, though, is with how many points 4 Romanian boys got, that only closed the gap by 4. So they're still 36 points behind 4 Romanian boys. And at the end of the day, it's only first place. So, you're happy to go up the leaderboards, but it's the top boys that you have to worry about, dude. And, man, like you mentioned, I think it was a little too early. Yeah, it's the boys, bro. It's the boys. I think it's still a little too early to start seeing this desperation stuff, but I wouldn't be surprised after today. Like, if we see a huge gap, just shenanigans ensue in the next 2 days.
I 100% agree. I mean, I'm seeing the desperation already, right? I've never seen this many teams in PMCO. And I've been watching these teams for 2 weeks. Not once in any of the Sanhok games did I see so many teams pull out the medkit strat. So, yeah, these teams are getting a bit more desperate. They're pulling out all the cards, and eventually that last final card is going to be, screw it. We're just going to drop on you. We're going to kill you. And then we're going to run around and kill other teams. And that's how we're going to get our points. That's how we're going to get our placements. But we'll just have to wait and see. We got more games coming up. Next map, that being of Miramar. So we're going to take it to a break. Stay tuned and we'll be right back.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the PUBG Mobile Club Open Fall Spit 2021 EU Finals, baby. I'm back. Imperium is back,
Oh, yeah.
bro. Sanhok, dude. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that one?
Not surprised XTEAM won in terms of how consistent they looked on that map in the group stage. They were getting around 14 points per game, and in the group stage in Sanhok, it was a strong performance, to be fair, much needed for them. But for Romanian Boys, Dukes, man, they bounced back, and they just come in flying.
Dude, I mean, this is kind of a storyline that I've been kind of creating right now because I want to see it. But here, let's pull up the leaderboards before I get to that, right? Let's take a look at the leaderboard, see where everyone is at. This is what I'm talking about. 4 Romanian Boys pop off 92 points, bro. You remember, if you ain't first, you're last, dude. XTEAM had a great match. But now they've only closed the distance between first by 4 points. They're still 36 behind them.
Yep. It's incredible before Romanian Boys. Now, they know for a fact that the Noisy Boys and FTY are there to take their #1 spot. So that's why I find that bounce back game even more impressive than for Romanian Boys. This is their first PMCO, Dukes, right? Yeah, okay, they won the ESL Mobile Open Finals, but this is their first PMCO. This is their biggest tournament today, and they're rocking it like they've been doing it forever, so to speak. So big props to them. Defeaters, though, they slipped massively, Dukes. They started today in 3rd, and they're down in 7th.
I mean, it's you hate to see it. At the end of the day, though, it's just like you got to pass up the first place squad. I mean, so they're 42 points behind first place, and you hate to see them slip. I mean, yeah, they want, like you mentioned, the 4 Romanian Boys, popping off in the ESL Mobile Open. I got a chance to like really watch them through every single game. And one thing I really noticed is just their confidence. They were able to play together as a team and just straight frag out. And it's good to see that they can still do that here at one of the highest levels in PUBG Mobile, dude. And they're just having fun with it. Other teams, at some point, they're going to have to work together to try to take them out if they create too big of a lead. That's what I think.
Exactly. Let's move to the second page and see which teams are not looking so confident, not looking so hot. Got to give props to New Generation. I thought they had a decent Sanhok game, but still a big mountain for them to climb. And Mega Power, I hate to say it, but you could be right. Their finals journey might be over and done with for that PMPL spot because it just had nightmare game after game.
Yeah, you hate to see it. I mean, and if you're a huge Mega Power fan, don't hate me for it. But I mean, I got to be realistic here. I mean, we have to look at the numbers on there. And as much as I would love to see Mega Power just do something we've never seen before, like nonstop chicken dinners, I would love to see it. But that's what we have to see at this point. We have to see something absolutely special from them right now. Like literally no excuse. 2 chicken dinners.
I agree.
And if they get 2 chicken dinners, I'm on the Mega Power train. Until then, I'm just seeing that's, leave the station, unfortunately. But hey, I'll tell you what isn't leaving the station, Imperium, and that is Xiaomi's powerful Redmi Note 10 5G. That's right, everybody. If you want to enjoy a lag-free, super fast experience, a PUBG Mobile experience, you could do it on Xiaomi's powerful Redmi Note 10 5G. So, man, match number 3, about to get started here. Miramar, bro. What do you see coming? What do you see?
Look, I see the Noisy Boys going, okay, well, anything you can do for Romanian Boys, we can do better. This is a particularly strong map for them. I'm expecting to come in, drop in San Martin, and rock it as usual. The Noisy Boys, they don't get phased easily.
Let's see it. Let's see them get noisy, bro. Here we go. Match number 3. Playing has begun, bro. This is going to be a big one, I think, for a lot of squads. I think we're at that point where just teams have to realize. Like, if you don't, then you just don't deserve to be in PMPL, to be honest. Like, you have to realize right now. Yeah, it's just what it is.
True. Like, that step up from PMCO finals to PMPL is much bigger than PMCO to PMCO finals, right? So that's why you can turn around and go, oh, what? There's only one spot. the reason why you've got other regions, they fighting, they're struggling themselves to, to get PMPL slots. The best team comes out and they deserve to be there. So yeah, gotta put in the work in the remaining games today as well as the last 2 days. But that playing path isn't too bad. Diagonal going from northeast down to southwest. Let's see where this phase 1 goes.
Yeah, that's I'm not against it. I'm not mad at it at all, to be honest. As a matter of fact, I'm happy that it's like one team moving on. And the reason why is because we get to see a lobby where they have to play every single game to get first place. Because I think you see in the group stages, some squads are like, oh, we're just trying to qualify. We're just trying to qualify. So we can see them play a little bit lazier, and just try to get into that top 8 or whatever. But here they have to frag out of their minds, bro, because it's first place or you go home, dude. And first place, if you go to PMPL, that's where dreams come true. Like literally, that's where you make a name for yourself. That's where you can be a professional, PUBG mobile player, make a living, dude. And I really think that you have to be first here. You have to have that mentality.
Yep.
If you even want to stand a chance in PMPL. So that's why I like number 1 team.
Exactly.
Because they're going to be the only real squad that has a chance in my eyes.
This phase 1 circle is pretty spot on for a lot of these teams. Complements the playing path. Puts the Noisy Boys in an already good position where they have a bit of a split on the western edge of San Martin. Last fight are looting up Hacienda. We see an initial fight already going on between the Feeders and QILIN, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's not the Feeders. It's Daos Legion and QILIN in Le Cabriere. And now both of these teams have dropped around this area, but QILIN haven't often, if ever before, gone into the city of Le Cabriere. Normally it's been given over to Daos Legion.
Yeah, QILIN just trying to get looted up at the start. You can see Bo here trying to get switching to first person, trying to be able to get looted. Daos Legion are going to have all 4 coming towards them. And they're the 4th remaining member. I'm not sure exactly where he is, but QILIN are in a precarious spot here if they get caught out. I wonder if Daos, and this is where I'm trying to really trying to get onto it. They need to start getting crazy points, right? So at what point do they start playing a little hyper aggressive? Oh, they already lost 1 member. That's right. So QILIN.
Well, Mizu they kind of highlighted that about Daos Legion, about how they need to start being a bit more aggressive, earlier in the game on the edge of circle, especially with their playstyle. So you're dead right. Yeah, they do need to start being more aggressive, and it has to start this game.
I think that this is what I really like about this whole position where it's about first place is we're going to see which teams are able to adapt and which ones aren't. And if you're able to adapt, then you should be able to go to PMPL. If not, then you can't be there. And all these teams have to adapt their strategies of instead of going for placement, and just trying to get some decent points up top, they need to be thinking about fragging out, getting some insane points every game because they're not trying to go for second. They're not trying to go for third. They're trying to outperform everybody.
End of the game. TipTop dropped in Al Azhar, their normal drop spot. They're going to have a fantastic entry into a deeper phase 1 circle should they choose to go there. Similar for Rexpect, dropping in Cruz Zaval, the Feeders in Impala as per normal. The Familia, they have the Hacienda region all to themselves. They can hold on to Graveyard. Graveyard is the high ground vision overlooking the kind of exit of Picado, that main road across the way. It'd be great if they had 2 to 3 players on that area and hold it down until phase 2 pops up.
Picado, dude. Yeah, I mean if they were able to hold that position, it's gonna be interesting for them. I mean, it's all of course depending on where this next circle is gonna go. That's where all these teams are trying to get prepared for. I want to ask you this though, since we have a little bit of time right now, as we're still in the looting phase, teams are trying to get positioned. Let me ask you this. If you're so first off, I don't know what's up with the center curse because in PMCO NA, the ones that I casted, we saw a team called Walls Castle. They kept on dropping center Picado, Picado in the Pachinki, those areas, and they got taken out like almost last place. Mega Power seems to be in the same position. right? So I just want to ask you, if you're Mega Power and you are a ridiculous amount of points behind everybody, what do you do? And let me guess, not that.
Well, the rotating early away from Picado, I don't disagree with that, but why are you so heavily separated on your rotation? And two, why aren't you stopping earlier to do a bit of scouting? You do any kind of research for more than 2 minutes and they will know that the Noisy Boys like to drop around San Martin, right? And when you have a kind of circle where the mountains of Picado is a pretty good place to hold down on phase 1, of course there's going to be that kind of little bit of a brick wall in front of them. Mega Power right now, they're just feeling the burn of a lack of experience. They're feeling the heat of not really being in this kind of situation. You touched upon the group stage of where teams are like, you know, yeah, I just like to make it into the finals. I don't need to finish first. And teams like Mega Power, who definitely showed a lot of promise and a lot of confidence, would feed off that. But now, where teams are giving it just as good as Mega Powers are, if not more, Mega Powers are being shown their weaknesses. They're being shown their poor side, and that's harsh, but that's the reality of it.
I mean, it is what it is when you're playing, you know, competitive anything, you know, like you have to, the mental factor, especially at PUBG Mobile, is so huge among players and teams, you know, and if anybody has ever, you know, played at all, you know, in a professional setting, you'll understand this. And the thing is, right now, Mega Powers, they're down, they're in the trenches, right? They are way down and out. They have not performed well. And one thing I like to see is, even though teams don't perform well, if you have a bad day, I want to see that, like, almost bigger fire come up inside you. You know, I want to see that, like, oh, like, all right, we're going to go off and we're going to kill everybody. We're going to win these, you know, like, exactly. I want to see that attitude rather than, oh, man, guys, we're done. We're done.
Like,
we stand no chance.
Like 4 Romanian boys go from game 1 to game 2, right? That simple thing of you have a bad game, you have a bad day, you bounce back harder, and you're dead right. Get those kills.
I'll tell you what, though, if you are a squad that you know, has a difficult time bouncing back after a bad game, and you just let that mental factor just affect you too much, you're just not going to stand a chance at the high level, you know? So, I mean, at the end of the day, this is a great experience for all these teams. You know, hopefully the ones that we see don't make it, we see them bounce back, learn from it, and come back further. At the end of the day, we just got to call it how it is, man. Call it how it is. This is the situation.
Don't like how ENTROPIQ are still so deep into the blue zone. I don't mind kind of for phase 1 being a little bit in the blue, but they're still clearly so far away from the circle separated. Only Chorche is the one that's really closer to the circle. But even then, he's relatively far away. FTY, they moved away from Tumasera early on. Not too bad, holding on to that kind of hillside just to the east of Picado. Phase 2 is about to pop up. It's a nice central shift. It does benefit the Familia and TipTop. That Minas Generalis mountain that TipTop hold on to, that is prime property.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're right by Junkyard. They're going to be set up pretty for this one, especially if that circle likes to lock onto there. We're starting to see some teams on the outside really far out. I mean, 4 Romanian Boys, what I don't want to see from them, I don't want to see them play passive because they already got so many points, if that makes sense. I want to see them continue their style of play because that's what got them here.
Yeah,
and if they turn down the gas because they're like, hey, you know what? We're so far ahead. All we got to do is get decent placement. I think that kind of leaves an opportunity to open the door for other squads to, you know, possibly bounce back. So I want to see them just continue exactly what they've been doing.
Or if you give teams an inch, you're going to take a mile at this stage of the game. Rexpect Pappy's on his own, has not been spotted, but now he takes his shots. Doesn't quite connect, not really enough to get a knock. He uses that dip to hold down.
You hate to see it. You know, he really wanted that one. And he wants that one back. Unfortunately, that's already gone. So he's going to have to wait. We're going to start seeing that rotation from QILIN. 1 member down. Getting away from water treatment. Over here by Hacienda is going to be one of their members. And it looks like this is where they're going to park themselves for the rest of the match until that zone shifts.
That was still not bad from Rexpect because it did push QILIN back, so it technically gives Rexpect a bit more space in their area around the circle. They hold on to 2-2 split outside of water treatment. Kind of risky for phase 2. Let's see how they deal with it when the next shift comes up. Last fight, noticing the Noisy Boys rotating. Good spot for the Noisy Boys to go. It's right dead center in this phase 2.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to see last fight just holding this spot right across from the Noisy Boys. And we can see Sarah here just trying to find an angle, trying to catch one of them. But they know exactly where they're at. I'm not sure if the Noisy Boys are aware of last fight's position. So they could definitely get caught slipping. Yeah, they can definitely get caught slipping. Sarah's going to have to make a play. But if they do get a knock, are they going to cross that road to go finish them? That's the question. Be a tough one.
If last fight get a knock, in my opinion, they should push because a little bit similar to what we saw TipTop onto Entropiq in the first game of the day. In the first 3 circles, you can afford to be a little bit more aggressive, even if it's a bit risky, but you have a higher chance of not getting third party, and that's where the shots are fired up. Not enough.
Man, that was tough. If they would have gotten that knock, I think we could have seen something cool. But yeah, that second they realize that they're not going to be able to and their position's given away, the element of surprise is gone. Yeah, they're just looking to back off. Can't blame them. Can't blame them.
Should there have been 2 players looking in that dip? Because you highlighted a lot of like that kind of 3-2-1 go. If 2 last 5 players had been there, that knock probably would have been executed.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that they should have been kind of at the ready to just jump the second they got a knock. Because if they were going to go for it, that's the only real play that could have been valid. Or worst case, they would have been able to get the knock and thirst and a point, right?
Yep.
But just a little bit, this is what we're talking about. These little tiny little mistakes can make all the difference. Because maybe they fight the Noisy Boys later on, and now they got to fight them as a full squad. So yeah, those little micro plays make all the difference. But look at this circle, man. Everyone's heading in from the same side.
Oh, it's a cluster. And just as you said it, Sushio is going to get knocked. The Noisy Boys make last fight pay.
Exactly what I was talking about. One little misplay, and it could cause havoc amongst your squad. If they can get a nice grenade here, that would be lovely for last fight. You can see Florian's got it locked and loaded, but it's really hard to throw him from this angle. And yeah, Sarah's going to get punished here. Noisy Boys just have such a better position into this fight, and they are just letting him have it. But Masaru getting caught by that nade, and the Noisy Boys lose 2.
Yeah, because third party from 4 Romanian boys, they make last fight pay and the Noisy Boys pay. So you said you want to see 4 Romanian boys continue with their playstyle. That's what they're doing. In the back line, a little bit close to the edge of the circle, making people pay. And Wix with the knock on the recce. Absolutely calculated.
Take one more point to the bank. And oh man, if this is one squad you do not want to be near whenever they have a decent position. There goes that kill. He's going to be able to get that confirm. And Wix, man, 4 Romanian boys just, again, applying that pressure nonstop, not letting off the gas. That's what I want to see.
Yeah. Like, look at them. They're moving forward. They're moving forward as a team, full of confidence. Not a care in the world. Obviously, they're aware, but just not a care in the world. They own this land. They own this area of the circle, and they're making it work. And even looking at that, the direction of XTEAM, they have all surroundings covered.
I mean, these guys just have so much confidence in their gun skill. When they start crying, like that hill, a lot of teams will be like, oh, it's not a really good position. If they peek us, we're going to die. They don't care. They're like, hey, peek us.
Exactly.
Peek us, and we're going to take you out instantly. And that's what I like to see. And this is why we're seeing 4 Romanian boys lead up the lobby. I mean, this is how you do it, folks.
Yep.
This is how it's done.
Now, northern side of the circle, you have Daos Legion, Rexpect, New Generation, all Rejection a little bit south of those teams. The southern side of the circle, you have TipTop, FTY, Mega Power, while Sorry for Skill are punishing ENTROPIQ, despite ENTROPIQ having a bigger side of the circle in their favor. So that knock will probably hurt them before Romanian boys just continue to sweep in, looking for the last player of last fight.
And they're doing it in style, rocking the golden Murata, only one in the entire game. And look at this playboy. And then they locked and loaded, but Bright beat him to it. I mean, this is just gross. These guys are just having their way with the lobby, bro. And you can see last fight trying to poke some shots at him as they lost one member. But what are you going to do?
Yeah. Man, last fight out, La Familia looking for it, but 4 Romanian boys are prepared. QILIN coming in a bit late, paid the price. XTEAM, who were there first, opted to go, okay, well, the circle shifted away. We're at the stage of the game where we're better off probably trying to punish teams who are desperately rotating around us. And that's exactly what they did. It's not over yet. Goldtouch is going to move around. Crank steps up, takes a shot, but not enough to get the knock.
Gotta go for them tires, man. Gotta go for them tires. Yeah. One tire shot, that thing would have spun out. So unfortunately, doesn't catch it. X-Team are coming off that chicken dinner from the last game. So, you know, they have that little extra ganas, that little extra feeling to be able to get it done. But they cannot slip up left. They have one member down up front, and that's their front line. He's in too far a position to get held. Goldtouch has to make a play. Has to make a play here against King Versi.
I don't think he has to make a play. All he has to do is suppress King Versi, right? While the revive is being pulled off onto Syx, and then they can get that 2-3 man push. Now, Nate is being thrown out. Goldtouch is moving around. I think he recognizes that he's a little bit exposed, but that's a risk that King Versi is not taking.
Beautifully done. Yeah, because he was in such a horrible position. I don't think that they were going to try and go for that res, but Goldtouch just with saying, hey, you know what? Let me just send it in this buggy and get this rotation going. Able to get it off for now. So it looks like they are going to be able to get a little bit of a reset, but still a lot of work left to do because you've got 4 Romanian boys, the boys still in the lobby popping off.
ENTROPIQ, they have the manpower, but sorry for skill, they have the spread across the board. Multiple angles fired at Bobby on the short, and his Sands going down as well. Starkey is eliminated. Sorry, but what the hell is that, ENTROPIQ?
Full send, you know, full send. Hey, sometimes you just hit the gas and see what happens, and guess what? You do that, and this is exactly what's gonna happen. You gotta play it smarter. You don't see 4 Romanian boys doing crazy rotations out of nowhere. You gotta use your gun skill to make these kind of rotations, and now you're just seeing, you know, ENTROPIQ just in full-on desperation mode.
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking is that kind of desperate times, desperate measures kind of play. Daos Legion also went out. Mega Power out. 13 teams left. 37 players.
I would have liked to see them just have all 3 run up, you know, with gun, and then have one person maybe drive to create a distraction or something. But, you know, if you're just doing a full send play like that, you're just going to get punished. You're just going to get punished. You got to use that gun skill to bully people off. And speaking of gun skill, yeah, look where we're right back at. The boys, man. 4 Romanian boys. Just look at them from all over the place, applying just so much pressure.
Yeah, Rejection Gaming taken out. 4 Romanian boys were covered a little bit by XTEAM for the time being. FTY go down. I've got a lot to say about FTY, to be fair, despite them being 3rd in the standings. Koi, formerly of Panda, by the way, in the previous PMPL, using his experience to step down to get the shots on the wicks.
Nice shot, but he's going to get caught from the side from one of his teammates. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. It's like when you knock one of the boys, the rest of the boys come angry and just start punishing you. And look at this. Look at this. Look at the stats. They are on top of kills amongst all the other squads. This is just crazy, man. This is just insane. Crank gonna try to go for the res, but I mean it's circle 5 and it's closing. I think you just take their meds at this point. You can't go for that res. There's no way. Yeah, no way. You're wasting time.
Yeah, that's too risky. Wasting time indeed. The Familia still in this game, but they're outside the circle. Gonna have to start moving. There's a team in front of them, Defeaters, in a little bit more control, and yeah, QILIN goes down.
Yeah, that was just a bad play. I mean, he had no reason to even think about picking him up. He should have just picked those heals up and played for himself. But, I mean, you have to have that awareness in that situation. And unfortunately, didn't have it. So gets taken out. Still 9 teams remaining, bro. Man, if you go out right now, that is not a lot of points.
Especially because this circle is quite tricky. You've got the road split down the middle, the hillside. The Familia pushing. They go for the feeders, but Xiao, Maria, Alicio is there to step up his game. And made by Paki98. That could create a bit of an opening, but Alicio knows better. He outplays him and gets the squad wipe. That's a 3-piece for Alicio.
Woo! And done in style. I mean, drove up on him, said, hey, this isn't where you should park your car, brother. Taking him out. Beautifully done. And they gotta use that momentum because now they're going against the top team in the lobby. The boys, dude. 4 Romanian boys. Here comes Wix throwing some nades, trying to get some suppression. They are so good at understanding when to apply pressure, aggression, and play kind of passive and in the middle. And that's what they're doing right now. But Aliceo's coming off a nice kill. Try to get a nade, and unfortunately doesn't connect. Trying to go for number 2. Could this be the one? From downtown? Ooh! Pieces him up a little bit. Yeah, he felt that. He said, I'm out of here.
And I think 4 Romanian boys would have pushed on that more if Bright hadn't been knocked down. I do think that 4 Romanian boys are at a point in the game where they realize maybe we're a little bit too heavily spread, trying to focus on too many things at once. But the next circle shifts and it goes up the northwest. New generation being gifted that shift along with XTEAM.
XTEAM had just came out. They had a chicken dinner, so they climbed up the leaderboards.
Yep.
But this could be another chance for them to do it again. But at the same time, you got to worry about the boys up there. They're the #1 team in the lobby. They have a crazy lead. And every kill they get, it just makes that lead even bigger and bigger and bigger. The noisy boys.
Zaro.
1 left.
Zaro's used to being on his own in Miramar when he played PMPL with Destiny. He was multiple games left to his own devices, but this is very tricky for him. Gets a knock on the Playboy, uses it to his advantage. He's down to half health.
Well done, but not able to just handle the pressure. That's the hard part, is when you have a squad that understands and realizes that you only have 1 up, they're going to come punish you, and that's exactly what they're doing. The other Savage tries to catch him on this rotation, and they're just a little bit too fast for him.
What the hell?
Boys with the full send, they actually made it in? Insane.
And Bright got a knock inside the vehicle. That is like,
Gross.
Can I just say, that's big ball play. That's big balls play.
Bro, dude, the Huevos Rancheros, bro, out in full-fledged mode, and now the pressure continues, dude. Well, Romanian boys, this isn't a zone that they just got straight gifted. They went and earned it, and that's exactly what they're doing. Molotov's coming in, just playing it so perfect. Oh! Almost got caught in his back. But here they go for the finish. Goal touch.
One. He gets 2.
But, oh, they did not able to get off. The pressure, dude. 11 kills. 11.
Insane.
Dude, it's over,
That's
bro.
insane.
It's over. I mean, these guys are just owning. They're playing it so perfectly, just so much together, and just 3v1ing, 4v1ing, every single one of these split members. XTEAM, you see them there. Oh, going down again, making 12 kills. How many are they going to get, Imperium, before this is over?
And look, they don't even breathe any kind of breath before he's looking up the hill in the direction of the shots. That reaction time, okay, another one down. Let's go for another one. That is insatiable for 4 Romanian boys. Now, the fact that a lot of other teams opted to go for that kind of eastern rotation onto the flatlands as opposed to the compound did technically make it easier for 4 Romanian boys to focus on that one team. But there's no doubt about it. This Romanian team, they cannot be stopped.
A dozen kills, Imperium, make it a baker's dozen, dude. These guys are cooking up the whole lobby, straight lighting them up at this point. I mean, these you saw Bright just in the middle of the open. Hit the lay down, ready to get some shots done. He said, I don't need cover. I'll make you get cover just from shots alone. And you can see Wix trying to catch some toes. He's going to be able to get some spots. Defeater's just in a horrible position here and just getting beat up, man. I mean, nobody even wants to look in this direction, Imperium, the way these guys be shooting.
Nope. And the circle, although it hasn't gone in anybody's direction, you could argue it is in better favor for Romanian boys because all the other teams either have to go downhill or into flat terrain. Blind, the new generation does get a knock on the Broody one.
this is just disgusting. And how this is turning out. I mean, new generation, all these teams, they need to start realizing the position that they're putting themselves in. Nice shots there from Poppy.
Beautiful.
Almost gets knocked. Yeah, nice little peek back there. Nice little finish there from Bardot. It's going to get pretty intense between new generation and Rexpect. Here they come.
Oh my god. Oh my god, on a side note, 4 Romanian Boys sent one of their players across the road. The feeders are down. 2 teams are left.
And no teams are left. 4 Romanian Boys, dude. I mean, come on. I mean, this is just ridiculous. This is just ridiculous, man. I mean, this is what I was talking about. This is what I was afraid of. Once one team starts popping off like crazy, the rest of the lobby, they got to wake up, dude. They have to wake up. That's the team you need to stop. Your priorities need to go away from just getting points as a point to stopping this other squad from getting points.
Yep. Like,
Dude,
I said coming into today's games that 4 Romanian Boys were the only team that realistically looked like they were PMPL ready in the finals. They've taken that up a notch in today's games. Like, that game, that individual Miramar game was, and I'm going to speak some Romanian, so you might not understand, it was Forte Frumose, which is very beautiful in Romanian. It was poetic. It was absolutely poetic.
Man, I mean, you couldn't ask for a better game, I think. Let's take a look at the leaderboards, bro. Let's see how that game actually came up. Yeah, let's look at that match ranking here, and we can see, I mean, I'm gonna guess who's on top, right? I mean, bro.
God damn it.
It speaks for itself. What do you want us to say? I mean, this is so silly.
For Romanian Boys.
I mean, that's just a slap in the face amongst the other teams. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just like, yo, what are you doing?
It is. And that's the thing, like, people might be going, well, why are you talking about 4 Romanian Boys so much? It's hard not to. It really is hard not to at this stage of the game. But to kind of move away from it for a sec, credit to the feeders. I did say coming into this game that they'd slip down in the rankings, right, in points, in the standings. So that was a really important 18-point game for them. Still a massive journey to go because of how good 4 Romanian Boys are and what we've continued to repeat, that there's only one slot available. But I do recognize the importance of the feeders result. Same with Rexpect Esports. 15 points, 5 kills. Good game from them.
I can't say that, bro. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna say it. Like, I understand you say that, but I'm gonna be on the opposite side. Yeah, I'm gonna be on the opposite side, bro, because it's not a good game because we're talking about how like the gap is so far ahead, right? Because first place is the only thing you're looking for. Yeah. The gap, the road ahead just got bigger because they just went 33 points to your 15. So you think that, we had a great game with 20 points. No, now that road's even longer because they got 33, dude. So it's like, before your goal was thinking, all right, yeah, now with them getting, 18 more points than you did, if you're new generation or Rexpect, then, I mean, ouch, what do you want me to say?
And never mind the fact that the Noisy Boys only got 8 points compared to 4 Romanian Boys, 33, and the Noisy Boys were in second place, so it's even harder for them. But let's move over to the second page and how it looks just, again, so much worse for so many of these teams.
I mean, you don't stand a chance at this point. Like, literally, if 4 Romanian Boys keep having games like this, you're done. Like, there's zero chance. And here's the thing, though. For anybody that's just kind of new to, like, PUBG Mobile esports or how, like, this is organized, when you get a knock on a player, like you would in a regular game, it doesn't show you who you knocked here at this level. It just says team player, whatever. You don't know who you're fighting until you get a kill on that player, right?
Yep.
So at this point, like, I would like to see, because I think it has to happen, like, hey, if a team just realizes or has any clue that 4 Romanian Boys is over there, you have to just stop everything you're doing. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we see like 4 Romanian Boys the way they were down that hill, and all the teams on top of the hill, if they realize that 4 Romanian Boys were down, all of them should be focusing on them. Because if they don't, they're not making it to PMPL, and that's just a fact.
Man, 4 Romanian boys, can they be stopped? Will they be stopped? They certainly put a massive target on their backs, to be fair, Hot Chooks. Massive target.
But dude, it looks like they're almost welcoming it. That's what I'm trying to get. It's like the way that they're playing, they're like, come on. We'll take more points.
Bring it.
You know, we'll keep on clapping you. That's just the way it is. They're running up in the middle of hills. They're running in the open and just shooting everybody in sight, making it look like it's a classic match going against, I mean, just randoms. I mean, it's almost as though the rest of the teams need to start teaming against this one squad if they want to stand a chance. It's insane.
Oh, man. Well, look, one more game to go. Let's go for a break. We'll see you guys in a couple of minutes. Welcome back. 3 games down, 1 to go. This isn't the PMCO EU Wildcard show. This is the 4 Romanian Boys show. Zute, can they actually be stopped?
You know what? I was heating up some popcorn and I was just enjoying the show, man. Like, 4 Romanian Boys, better movie than Twilight, for sure. But
wow.
Jesus. The thing is with 4 Romanian Boys, I was watching that game play out.
Yeah.
It looks like to me, okay, well, 4 Romanian Boys, solid freaking team. The way they play, everything is on point. But some of these teams are just like rolling over to the side
That's
of
true.
4 Romanian
That
Boys.
is true.
Like that crash from Miramar, from uphill to downhill, it was a 3v4. But the team that got knocked, right, they did not throw any grenades back into the 4 Romanian Boys. They just sat there. One guy was doing the revive. The other guy was in the other building. And then they didn't do anything. They didn't throw any grenades. They didn't throw anything. 4 Romanian Boys pushed, killed them off. And then that one player just sat in that building and just sat there. Yeah. And then he died too. Like, I know that's just one team, but my main point is these teams have to step up and take the fight to 4 Romanian Boys. They have to fight back because this team is not going down without a fight. And even if you put up a fight, it better be a dang good one. So let's go into the leaderboards. Let's look at just how crazy the 4 Romanian Boys have played.
39-point lead for 4 Romanian Boys. 39. That's over 2 chicken dinners. Like, that's kind of domination personified. 64 placement points, 61 kill points. Like, there's not really much more. It speaks for itself, right? It's insane. Now, Noisy Boys, they're in second. That's great. Massive amount of decline, though, still for them. And FTY in third. Yeah, okay, they're in third, but just real quickly to highlight them, right now, they're not a team. I'm sorry, I'm going to be super harsh. FTYeSports, we complimented them so much about how they were playing so well as a team, sweeping, focusing. They are not a team right now. It is only one player from their team that's doing anything so far. And I say that with the biggest amount of love. They need to turn it around as a team.
Okay, before we head on to the second page, I'd have to counter that. I think it is a team effort, even if Biscay is the last one alive and he's getting the kills. It is a team effort to get to that point. Now, in contrast to 4 Romanian Boys, yes, I agree with you. If they want to be a team, they are not playing as a team right now. If they want to be 4 Romanian Boys. But let's head on to the second page and take a look at the rest of the teams here. Now, these teams, I mean, it's A for effort. I mean, it's not over. You can still put up a fight, show up. Hey, maybe just hot drop on 4 Romanian Boys to make a name for yourselves at this point.
Well, there's also the money involved. There's that prize pool, so a couple of extra positions can definitely give the team a bit more money. So let's be fair. There's still a lot of motivation around. Plus, all these teams have got personal pride. They've got personal, goals of still wanting to do the best job that they can. So, as much as we say, that PMPL spot isn't viable, we still got to give them the credit and respect of, hey, they're doing their best in this lobby. Just like you can do your best by enjoying a super fast and lag-free PUBG mobile experience on Xiaomi's powerful Redmi Note 10 5G. We're heading back over to Erangel for the final game. I did it to you in the first game. Chicken dinner, winner.
For 4 Romanian Boys, because I'm going to just take the easy one out.
That's just an easy way. That's just an easy way out. That's just an easy way out. You know what? I'm going to go for somebody different. I'm going to go for Sorry for Skill. Because I'm a fan of an underdog. They're currently in 13th. Let's see them get a chicken dinner in this final game of the day.
Okay. Tell you what, I'm a fan of being a winner. So there I said, I'm just going to support whoever's winning. That's me. That's the honest truth.
Yep. Okay.
But let's get into this last match of Erangel for the day, and let's see who's the winner at the end of this match.
Fine. Okay. I see how it is. Okay. You go chase your winning, your winning clout. I see how it is. It's fine. I'll be here back with the underdogs fighting a good fight. No, I joke. This playing path is on the west, going from the south to the north. So obviously a little bit more difficult for the likes of ENTROPIQ. But see, look, it all comes down to that phase 1 circle.
The phase 1 circle. I see the Noisy Boys jumping out towards that military base side. Oh, I just realized something. So the Noisy Boys, right? They're I want to say they're contesting first place, but I mean, come on. No one's really contesting first place when there's a 40+ point gap. But second place team, the closest team to 4 Romanian Boys, the Noisy Boys, right? They're dropping military base. Even if the Noisy Boys start catching back up, if I'm just saying this out loud now, maybe they'll hear it. Hopefully they'll hear it. If they do get themselves in this position, they have to realize military base rotations, onto the main island is so easy to be counter-stratted. Like, there could be a chance where 4 Romanian Boys, for whatever reason, might need to target the Noisy Boys. And just to put it out there, the Noisy Boys, they're just trying to catch up to first place for now. But at some point, once they're up there or they're close, they got to be wary of potentially getting counter-stratted. And talking about counter-stratting, San's doing a little bit of a dance right here. I don't think he can out-dance the bullets. And he's still... Poor Sans. Oh,
well, that's why I said with the playing path was a little bit difficult for the teams that like to land on the east, such as ENTROPIQ. In my opinion, FTY are wasting time right now. If anything, they should forget about this. Yeah, okay, it's a little bit of fun, and insert. Yeah, so to me, that was a big waste of time for FTY. A big kind of lack of focus on a team that I'm kind of being a little bit more critical of. I'm all for if you can get a free kill, cool, but it gets you a certain point 10 seconds into trying to get that knock and you haven't got it, just leave it. Come on, it's start of the game, like.
Okay, I got to counter that. So,
go for it.
I watch a lot of PEL. That's the most elite league
for
the Chinese teams. And early kills for them, they are on a different point system, but any early kill they can get, they go for it super hard and fast. Now, I will say, what we just saw, yes, you can say they're wasting time. They should give it up. But my counter to that is they just didn't do it correctly. The player with the car...
Good point.
The player with the car, once he realizes Sans has no cars next to him, he's wide in the open, he doesn't have a chance to get a gun. Once you can confirm that as you're trying to run him over, he's trapped. He's got nowhere to go. That's when you turn your car back around the second your teammate calls out they have a gun. You pick up that teammate, you drive over, kill him, and that's
so true.
And
even if he didn't have a gun, he could have picked him up, brought him over, and you could have been trying to fist him and run him over, right? So, So, you really good point, mate. Really good point.
So, it's like the age-old argument of, every time we try and play aggressive, we die, so we shouldn't play aggressive anymore. Okay, then you'll never get better at playing aggressive, and you see teams like 4 Romanian Boys, they 3-man crashed a compound from uphill to downhill, no cover. They just went for it, and they have that practiced aggression. They have that synergy from playing aggressive, and that won them the game. So just because you don't see a team get a kill early on, you see a team waste their time, it doesn't mean that that's incorrect. It just means that they're doing it incorrectly.
Phase 1 popped up, southwest. Phase 1, kind of similar to what we had in game 1 of the day. I know a lot of these teams will be hoping there won't be a similar shift on phase 2. The tickle of the military island is in play, but I can't see that affecting the Noisy Boys rotations, especially because, to be fair, they did a fantastic job in game 1 of the day of disengaging away from military island. I'm sure they'll do it once again.
I do see New Generation, though, kind of set up at the bridge. I don't know if they're planning to on staying there to bridge camp the Noisy Boys. Oh, never mind. They're actually shifting away. So that was just a split loot drop. But for Romanian Boys, on the other hand, you see them on the screen. They did a split loot around the Gaka area. And with this circle, they could get center position, whichever type of center position they want very easily. You see Bright already here by himself in the middle of the circle. A little bit risky, sure. But he's got that buggy ready to immediately leave if he does get crashed. The rest of his team quite a far ways away.
Yeah, I don't mind a 3-1 split in phase 1. Got to understand context of the confidence that 4 Romanian Boys have, their ability, what they've proven to us now. So I'm going to trust in what their game plan is for the start of this game. The Familia on towards the east of Quarry area, should I say. The high ground is really valuable to hold on to. New Generation are going exactly where I'd always recommend a team to go in this kind of circle. That Ferry Pier hillside, you take advantage of this kind of free defensive area, free walls to move around. Of course, once you're not too clustered together where you're able to have a good spread, this is a great position for New Generation to be.
New Generation is in a great position. So is Mega Power, though. They're just northeast of New Generation, not too far away. This is a really strong compound to hold down, especially as the zones keep shifting in closer to that area. The Noisy Boys did not get bridge camp. They are able to cross that bridge safely once again. So good for them to see. And I'm noticing on the map, 4 Romanian Boys. So they were center like a minute ago, and now they have actually rotated further away from center. It looks like to just keep
that makes sense. No, it makes sense to their play style. They're not a central team. They're not an edge of circle team, but they're not a central team. So yeah, okay, you technically have the center of circle in the palm of your hands, but if it's not broken in terms of play style, don't fix it. So just move a little bit away from it. Happy days. So I totally get what 4 Romanian Boys are doing. Is the position that they're in optimal? I don't think so. I think it's too close to Everest where you're not getting that much information to the north. Let's see what they do with it.
One of them rotating out, did not want to get caught at that compound. Sorry for Skill is over the top. Now, 4 Romanian Boys, I think they were mainly just trying to grab more loot before they rotate.
Maybe.
Now they're 2-2 split, and they're not looking to take this fight. If they wanted to take this fight, we'd see the players react a little bit differently from the other pair. Yeah, now they're disengaging. Now they're just rotating. It looks like the main 2 set up in the Gatka area. So they got to group up. I haven't really watched 4 Romanian Boys this early on into the game. I don't know if this is what they usually do, but it looks a little bit off, just slightly.
Again, it was more the exact position they went to rather than the idea around it. So good theory, poor execution. Also poor execution from the Noisy Boys coming across Military Island. They're looking to turn it around. Andy's confirmed his hours knocked down. Agon does get a knock, but is going to be knocked in return. New Generation doing a solid job of defending their north of Ferry Pier stronghold.
Ooh, Mega Power was actually coming in with that third party onto Agon. You see that sniper kill come out in the kill feed. Oh, Noisy Boys. I mean, they already had a big hill to climb, even though they were sitting second place. Now they're down to 2 players in the very last game. That just means more power to the 4 Romanian Boys.
I have a question for you based off that. When you were playing competitive and this new system came out of only seeing a player go down or only knowing who it is when they're confirmed, is that something that your team would kind of keep an eye on in the kill feed to maybe track if a team that was around you in the standings of a tournament lost a player too early on?
Oh, 100%. We try to keep track of kill feed, but
Okay.
keeping track of kill feed is a very difficult thing to do, especially
Yes.
through the chaos of everything. There's not many teams that really prioritize keeping track of it, because first off,
Okay.
the priority shifts down the list. First, you want to figure out what your team is doing, and then refine that.
Fair.
And then you got
Yeah.
so much other stuff to focus on, that keeping track of kill feed, developing the skill to keep track of kill feed accurately, that comes in towards the very end once your team's like at the tippy top. But it is an advantage if it can be done correctly. Speaking about advantages, XTEAM getting the advantage right now with the better position onto Sorry for Skill. Sorry for Skill maybe came to this area just slightly too late, and they are losing players because of it.
Slightly is an understatement. That phase 2 did shift up in the northeast, and this radio tower kind of square is a beautiful spot to hold on to. You have wonderful dips. You're able to spread out as a team, and you see teams coming towards you from very far away. So the fact that Sorry for Skill looked to try and pull that rotation off so late into the phase 2 blue zone closing in is a massive F in my books. Time will only tell before XTEAM goes down. Now, a little bit surprised XTEAM are pushing it. Well, now they are.
Gold touch with the magic touch on that first nade opening. He would just lay prone in the grass, listen for the footstep cues, and nailed that one perfectly. That allowed them the easy push over the top. Secures them 4 kill points, but they do lose Nightmare in the process. Down to 3. Second phase of the circle. I would take that trade. I would take 4 kill points and lose a player. That's a pretty decent one right there.
Just putting it out there because some people might notice. That's the team that I said was going to get the chicken dinner. Thanks, Sorry for Skill. Thanks. You know what? I still love you guys. Still love you guys. But anyway, QILIN on the edge of this phase 2 circle. Coming in from the east. We're about to have phase 3 pop up. There's a bit of traffic in front of them. ENTROPIQ, Rexpect, FTY, all going from north to south in a line. Technically blocking QILIN's entrance, or a clean entrance into the circle.
QILIN is having to drive through some lines of sight here, but they should be okay. They've already found a compound to kind of just take a little breather as the circle shifts, and it shifts to the west. That center of the circle is just, there's no cover. There are a bunch of hay bales, and that area, though, if it does end there, it is very different in elevation. It kind of slopes. It's not one flat ground, so you can get multiple teams just all prone there. For Romanian Boys, so I see them driving straight into all Rejection Gaming. They're making a little bit of a U-turn. Maybe they're committing to the fight, though. It looks like they have stopped. They're going to share the compounds across the roads. So they're going to be really close, but no engagement yet. Yeah, right here. 4 Romanian Boys looking strong. Center circle, 4 up. Looking good to win the game, as I predicted.
Oh my god, wow. Wow, come on, bro. Bro, it's only phase 3, okay? Chill, okay?
Hey, it's 4 Romanian Boys. Have you seen what they've done?
That's true. Man, look at that, like, stroking their own ego. See how it is. This phase 3 circle is also quite volatile, because it does have a number of compounds that you can hold on to. You mentioned the dips, the crevices, the kind of bumpy terrain. But again, if it ends in the flat open fields of Gaka, it's going to be incredibly difficult. The feeders went to Gaka. I was wondering who was going to be the first team to go there. It was the feeders. As the Noisy Boys, they're not looking good in this game. Not looking good at all.
Yeah, they are pinned down right now by New Generation, the team that took down 2 of their players already, and you see it. Red X just tasked with killing off the Noisy Boys. He has the advantage. It is a 1v2, though, and New Generation. Nah, no. At this point, you go for that. You take that 1v2. You try and get some points for your team. And if you die, I mean, you die. You should have won.
You can say you went down trying. You can say you went down trying.
The point is you need points, and those 2 points right there, I'm not going to say is free, because we saw him get tacked up the second he took shots, but you have the advantage still. You need to go for that. But they can still win. Like, I might just end up eating my words. They could rotate in on the edge and still win. Noisy Boys, no vehicle, though, running in from the blue from the south side. I'm going to count them out from this last game. I think they're pretty much done for this very last game.
Yeah. XTEAM did get a knock onto one of the defeaters players, so they both know of each other's whereabouts and location. So Rejection Gaming definitely getting a spot of info on 4 Romanian Boys encroaching on their space. Pretty much all the teams outside of Noisy Boys are in this Phase 3 circle. It's Phase 4 is about to pop up. Daos Legion have the north to themselves. That's a beautiful central shift.
Yeah, that shift, that field we're talking about on the west side of the circle is in play. We will see teams use that because there's not much left, and not everybody's going to feel comfortable crashing a compound.
You full send it, basically.
Yeah, maybe we'll see 1 or 2 teams full send it, but that western side, we're going to see maybe 2 teams try and stay alive in those little hay bale areas. The rest of the teams have the compounds within control. 4 Romanian Boys chilling. QILIN getting knocked right there by Mega Power, and Mega Power, they're not in zone, and this spot on the map is a good spot for them to start and take over, and they got the opening already.
Yeah, looking to prone down Rex. And he used that DP28 to his advantage. We saw a few rotational shifts from FTY or Rejection Gaming, utilizing the chopsticks area. Probably one of the only viable parts of this eastern half of the circle that wasn't occupied. 4 Romanian Boys move forward. Beg for Mercy takes himself down. Don't know what happened there. His new generation being pushed upon by the defeaters. One of their players is knocked, but KMA should be there to get the revive.
New generation managed to stay alive as 4, but they're not yet in the circle. And right next to them is 0 cover. They have 2 compounds in front of them. So they're gonna have to fight their way in on this one. And FTY holding down the defense. Daos Legion on their edge to their north. Daos Legion in the zone though, so they could not necessarily take their time, but they won't be as pressured by the blue zone closely.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of that dip inside the chopsticks. If you have the whole of the chopsticks free, i.e. you've gone there absolutely first and all that jazz, yes, because you can use the length of chopsticks to stop yourself getting massively engaged upon. But they know that Rejection Gaming are on the other side. They know Daos Legion are there. They can't really step out of the dip right now. They're stuck until the next circle pops up. They're going to be hoping on a wing and a prayer.
Another team hoping for some prayers right now. New generation, you see it in the background. They crashed straight into all Rejection Gaming. They went for that YOLO rotation. It does not look like it's working out in the push from Daos Legion coming out. Biscay with the opening knock right there.
Oh, if there's one man to do it, it's Biscay, but they still gotten closer. Knock isn't going to shut them down. That nade doesn't connect. Simple steps on up, using the peak to his advantage. Halfway health down. Simple still has full health, has to use the stair line. Nox is in the back line. Okay, Nox with the double nade. FTY proved me wrong. Daos Legion gets shut down. That's kill number 5 for FTY.
Oh, just as you say that, one of the FTY members goes down. He won't be able to get revived though as new generation. They managed to just swing back around to the other side. Oh, what?
No, it was one of the defeaters players' third party that kill.
Oh, dang. I thought he was safe to just crawl back down. That is a big loss for FTY. Usually players that get knocked there, you just crawl right back down and you get revived. But FTY down to 2 and that circle shift. 4 Romanian Boys.
4 Romanian Boys
are looking really good, Imperium.
Well,
I'm
not
going to say I told you so, but I'm going to say it now. That's how confident I am.
Yeah, okay, mate. Okay, mate. Indeed, they're in a fantastic position, and you probably have proved me wrong in that sense. Had no doubt about it. I just wanted to pick a team as an underdog fan. Either way,
fair.
Mega Power being put under pressure. I was going to say that Southern Hill of 4 Romanian Boys compound is a pretty good spot to hold down if you can hold it down. But unless you you know, if you don't lock it in control, it is quite difficult. So let's see if either Mega Powers or La Familia can hold that southern edge hillside.
Yeah, I don't like what Mega Power did, right? They got that knock onto QILIN, and I really thought they were going to press it and push it because they got that opening, but instead
they moved away.
They just sat in front of them, and when that circle shifts away, you give QILIN the high ground to press down on you and take you guys out. We already seen in the kill feed some of Mega Power going out to QILIN.
Oh my god, Blind was initially going for FTY, but then saw a free knock for himself and decided to go for it. But desperate push from FTY, he didn't get taken down in 11th place. To me, they didn't need to pull that off. I'm sure they had a good amount of healing. They could have kept one in the back line and go for a heal shot. They would have gotten much better positional points in my eyes, but I respect the push.
San's getting knocked right there by a beautiful grenade from New Generation. This is a really nice recovery for New Generation. They had a really crazy rotation, not sure where to go, but the last two members managed to get some more placements, get some more kills. And ENTROPIQ, I think just down to that one member hiding in the grass, hiding in the smokes.
4 Romanian Boys, as always, still up as a full squad. All Rejection Gaming lost 1, but 3 players hold it down strong. XTEAM are looking pretty good on the west, but they do have last fight and Rexpect around them. To phase 5 blue zone, everybody's in the edge of the circle except for that one Rexpect player. He's gone for the push that you kind of recommended in the open fields for maybe one team.
Rex 1-1 split right now in the open fields. 4 Romanian Boys getting slightly pushed on. That grenade.
Oh my god.
Beautiful grenade by Bright. But that kill might get stolen. Oh! Confirm the kill point. I know you don't need it, but get those kills, pad up those points, and a teammate does confirm it for him. The last 2 players. There goes one. Starkey's the last one up in that open field on the east side.
Circle has shifted away, so it becomes a little bit more pressurized for 4 Romanian Boys. So on to north. The feeders have the circle. They're the only team that's inside the circle for the time being. That can both be a godsend, or it can actually be a good and a bad thing. Good thing is that, yes, you don't have to move. Bad thing, a lot more teams are looking in your direction because they have to move into the circle. So curious on how the feeders are going to handle the situation they're in.
I think the defeaters are tucked in deep enough on that hardship side that they should be safe, even if teams look their way. Meanwhile, 4 Romanian Boys, what is their next move? They're not yet in the zone. It looks like they're going to just pressure everyone out and then edge into the zone on their side. It doesn't look like they're going to push aside completely. They're just going to create spacing by laying down the gunpowder.
Starkey, though.
But yeah, Starkey. This might be his chance. He's got to move now. I think Starkey's playing it a little bit too slow. 4 Romanian Boys is going to eject, and that leaves Starkey with no vehicles.
Okay, so less of a kind of killing push in, but they do drive and keep all 4 players alive for the time being. Wasted gets knocked down. QILIN are still alive in this game. Starkey gets 1 knock. That was the backstab that you were looking for, as Rexpect, they go down.
What a knock by Starkey. Unfortunate for Romanian Boys. That one player was split from the team, which is great. I love how they played split up, but the backstab really punished that player. He can still get revived. 4 Romanian Boys, they've shifted their focus to protecting their flank and throwing down the smokes. So even though he looked like he was dead, he could easily get revived. And 4 Romanian Boys, you see it here, everyone focused on the backside right now.
They have gotten the revive off. Sometimes it can be risky going for a revive this late stage of the game, especially when you still have 3 players up. It's sometimes better off just to let that player go down, just like Starkey has let himself go down to the blue zone. Phase 6, heading into Phase 7. You were talking about that kind of low ground dip. That is really favoring the defeaters on the northern side of the circle.
They got that little pocket to work with, but this hill, basically, the elevation is staggered all throughout the zone. It looks like everyone's close to each other and can shoot each other, but the slight elevation difference causes this snake play to come out. You see it here. Everybody can kind of see each other, but not really. So the smokes are being tossed out. Players are going prone, and that circle shift, I mean, for Romanian Boys, I told you so. I told you so.
I told you so. I told you so. I hate to say it, I told you so. Oh, man. Keep rubbing it in. I absolutely love to see it. Last fight, I've had a pretty good game, to be fair. They're looking on 4 kills so far, down to 2 players. They are close to the edge of the circle, of course. But with 4 Romanian Boys to the south of them, you have XTEAM to the north of them. It's not going to be easy for them.
Not whatsoever. It's not going to be easy for any of these teams because not only do they have to fight each other on the way in, once they get into the zone, whatever scraps you got left from getting shot at, from losing players left and right, you got a 4-man of 4 Romanian Boys waiting for you to try and take over.
4x4 like a plank of wood. They're just knocking their opponents left, right, and center. Baseball batting them out of the lobby. QILIN go down. They get a knock onto one of the last 5 players. However, he's crawling by his teammate Sarah, looking for the revive. But you know what? 4 Romanian Boys, they don't let it happen. They're like, nah. Take care then. Bye-bye now. 8 kills for the Romanian side as they look to get a back-to-back chicken dinner. 2 strong teams in front of them. XTEAM and Defeaters.
I want to see one of the 4 Romanian Boys get in the buggy or get in the car and just try and drive around. And I'm not even joking. Like, this is a valid strategy. We see it all the time out of the Chinese players of PEL. And they have the point gap to make a confident play like that. They do lose one player. They get the trade knock. 4 Romanian Boys, unstoppable. Someone hop in the buggy and make a show. Put on a show for us right now, please.
Like, they're literally taking on these 2 teams at once. Literally, 2 at once. They're not shooting, like, XTEAM isn't shooting at Defeaters. Defeaters aren't shooting at XTEAM. They're both looking at 4 Romanian Boys. And 4 Romanian Boys are like, yeah, we don't care. We'll take 1, we'll take 2, we'll take 3, we'll take it all. As Inade's being cooked up by Bright. He has an idea. Using that third-person perspective, firms up Alicio. There's just 1 player left standing. They're standing up, standing tall. They know they have the body advantage. Goal touches back to get taken out. As he does, Savage X is left on his own. The boogie play comes through. Playboy's gonna get the kill. That's gonna be the chicken dinner. That's 4 Romanian Boys. Back to back, baby. So good.
Oh my gosh. So I made a joke. in the Discord. I call the 4 Romanian Boys the 4 Romanian hackers. And that's before we just witnessed them win another game in a fashion like that. Okay, I know it's only day 2, and I've never called a team to, I feel, can win the finals when we're only at day 2 out of 4. But this is the first time that I am willing to say I'm pretty confident that 4 Romanian Boys will win the PMCO finals and they will be your PMPL team. Now, it's super early, but my God, Imperium, 4 Romanian Boys looking like something else.
I'm trying to take a little bit of a step back in around all of the craziness and excitement and really kind of look into this a bit more and go, is 4 Romanian Boys' performance based on them just playing with so much more confidence, or to be fair, a good few other teams underperforming? I like to think it's somewhere in the middle. Yeah, but it's definitely a factor in play is that they are feeding off so many other teams' lack of confidence. They're feeding off the insecurities of all the other teams around them, feeding off the nerves, the fears, the sweat, and they're just living it up. It is so good for 4 Romanian Boys.
I have to agree. 4 Romanian Boys looking stronger than ever. And then a lot of the other strong top dog teams that we've seen throughout the days of the group stage and everything, not as strong. I mean, I will say FTY had a great game out of Biscay, at least. Just Biscay, though. And then the Noisy Boys.
Biscay.
They made a good game today. But it's not enough to topple the team that is 4 Romanian boys. It was insane day for the 4 Romanian boys.
Let's just throw to the overall standings because the context is there. It's right in front of our eyes. The stats speaks for itself. 4 Romanian boys in the standings, 152 points to the Noisy Boys 86. That is,
oh my god,
that is. I can't even. I'm trying to do quick math on that. That is just. Isn't that like 60 points or something like that, roughly?
It's like 6. It's more than 60 points. Hold on, it is 66 points. It's like 66 points. Is that right? 66?
No, it's 76.
Wait, there's no. I'm pulling up my calculator app right now.
No,
we
it's
don't get paid to do maths on
66. 66
okay,
points. Sorry, I just
minus 86. Okay, so yeah, 66. There's 66 points ahead. They 4 Romanian boys cannot play tomorrow, and they could still be first place. Like, no cap.
Yeah, you're dead right. Like, it's kind of hard to talk about any other team than 4 Romanian boys right now. I will, and I've points to mention, but no team is playing as consistent, as strong, as fluid, as controlling, as at times risky, but they hit all the right notes. They're like a beautiful orchestra right now. Just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. If we were to just for a second, right, disregard the phenomenon, the craziness, I don't even know what you would call them, the side of 4 Romanian boys. Right? Let's just ignore that for now. The Noisy Boys, one of the teams we're expecting to do well if 4 Romanian boys are not here. They're doing good, right? XTEAM, a team that we haven't really seen from, really showed up today. They put their name up there, 3rd place. They're up there. Defeaters, I was talking about it, right? Can they have another consistent day where they just kind of fly under the radar like they did day 1? And they did. They're holding up the top 5, and FTY only 2 points behind. Rexpect only a couple points behind them. But of course, there's that big, giant shadow of the 4 Romanian boys that just kind of outshines everyone and makes everyone else's effort for nothing.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up XTEAM because I think they had a fantastic day and they do deserve the credit, right? They went from 8th in the standings on 28 points to 3rd with 84. So that's huge. Like nearly 4. That's nearly like that's a hell of a lot of points to be fair, and that's nearly 60 points over 4 games. That deserves a lot of credit for that. Defeaters did bounce back in the second half of the day. Rexpect falling flat. FTY, it's not FTYeSportsKodio. It's PMPL right now. Everybody needs to start everybody from that team needs to start getting on Biscay's level, as simple as that. And outside of that, also credit to New Generation because they came from 12th and now they're in 8th. Again, from 15 points to 52, that's a pretty solid jump up.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Let's head over to the second page to see where the teams are struggling. And yeah, TipTop. Last fight, Daos Legion. It just gets the mountain climb from here is impossible with how tall of a mountain peak that is the 4 Romanian boys. So for now, if they really want that PMPL spot, they gotta slow down. One of these teams has to slow down the 4 Romanian boys, or now you just play for the money, right? Because there is a difference in money between the placement points or not the placement points, but the overall placement of the teams at the end of the tournament. So they just need to treat this as a regular tournament. Still got 2 days left. Clear up your mistakes, figure out what you're doing wrong, and maybe just watch a lot of 4 Romanian boys. I mean, if the 4 Romanian boys players have Instagrams, follow their Instagrams, go watch their montages, go to their YouTubes. Maybe you could soak in some for Romanian boy energy to bring back on the third day. But once again, it all comes back to for Romanian boys. I cannot stop talking about them. We just can't.
Nope.
It's like impossible.
It is their show. Like I said to, it's not the PMCO EU wildcard, it's the PMCO for Romanian Boys show. It is incredible how they just come into the finals and brought it to the max. It is so often we've seen teams that go from the group stage to the finals kind of struggle. Mega Power is a little bit of an example of that for sure. Before Romanian Boys, I was confident that they were ready for this. I was, because I've spoken to Redox and I've watched 4 Romanian Boys grow and evolve. But even I'm massively surprised with how good they performed in this PMCO right from day one. And they've stepped up and stepped up and stepped up.
It's just a question of can they do an even bigger performance the next 2 days? I mean, I would say it's really hard to. And they don't need to even. And chances, I don't even know, man. This team is just, they could do even better the next day. Like, the confidence level is so high to the point where it's like, here's the confidence levels, right? First, you're confident, so you stick to your game plan, you play your gameplay. Next, you get a little overconfident. You get a little bit, like overzealous. You make some mistakes because you're overconfident. And then there's the 4 Romanian Boys level confidence. That's the confidence where they could get shot at and somehow the bullets are scared to touch them because they're so confident and enemy players just can't hit them and they're just invincible. That's the level of confidence 4 Romanian Boys is feeling right now.
4 Romanian Boys are playing so good that even Chuck Norris is scared to fight them. That's how good 4 Romanian Boys look so far. Look, at the end of the day, though, the door technically is still open wide. Open wide. The door is technically open. The PMCO finals are not finished. There's still 2 more games to go. 2 more days to go. 8 games in total. Will we see another dominating day from 4 Romanian Boys? Will we see them maybe get overconfident and crumble and maybe be put down a peg or 2? Well, they're going to have to come back, find out, and join us tomorrow. Same time, same place. Have a lovely evening. See you guys tomorrow.